It's ridiculous.
And are they orange and red and shit like that?
I think we're live, guys. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Astropub, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul, Bazooka01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astropub. This is the Captain's Table, where I bring people from all over the Star Citizen community to come talk, drink, be merry, probably do things they regret, and that we have footage forever for on the internet, so we can use for blackmail later.
Mostly drink.
Mostly drink. Mostly drink.
I hope so. That's the reason I agreed to come on.
So I like to think of this as kind of like a mini Citizen Con where everyone gets drunk and enjoys each other. A mini internet bar citizen.
We enjoy each other. Nice.
Sexually. The only way. There goes Noob. So, first off, we're going to go around the table, introduce everybody, and you guys have a chance to plug whatever you want to plug while you're doing stuff. We'll start with the head of the table, with the wise old sage, the man who giveth no shit of bull, he who, first of his name, house of the noobs, the noobifier himself. Who are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm the noobifier. I'm a redacted YouTuber, part of that nexus of redactedness. I try to bring you no bullshit content. Those of you that don't know me, if you don't know me, you go check me out. Right now I'm working on a new guide for Star Citizen, managing expectations. I just did a dual joystick binding on my own configuration because a lot of people are asking about that. Masters of Flight, should we expect more out of that? And talked about the latency issue with desync, which is oddly enough been addressed by CIG with 2.6.1. And currently an LTI Hull C being given away, graciously donated by my patrons.
I was gonna say, like you did another video about what was it? I remember watching your video about Star Marine. You had a suggestion for Star Marine, and like the day your video went out with Star Marine, the next day,
4 hours. It was it was 4 hours actual.
They said
I got an email, and I'm like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
So everyone in chat was like thinking, Noobifier did that. Like,
yeah, totally.
On the video,
totally.
It was like I'm a CIG whisperer or something.
At least you're not like Mara and I on the podcast where we talk about something, how good it would be, but then, our recordings go out on Wednesday, and CIG does something about it on Monday.
On Monday.
I was so happy with that too, because I did a video because it bothered me at a molecular level, right? It just seemed like such a simple fix, and now they're like, done. Here you go. Here's your 26,000 servers.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Just done.
Mic drop.
It's all you noob. It's all
Mic
you.
drop.
Now, moving right along, we've got. Oh, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No,
or?
I'm.
Okay.
Oh well, no. There's a HCS voice pack giveaway.
Yes, which I'm going to start literally right now because the man of the hour is here. So we're going to start this now. Code word is detox to get in.
Correct.
And speaking of detox,
Thank you very much.
we have a very immobile man.
Immobilized.
Immobilized man here. Who are you? Where can they find you?
So I am Detox. You can find me at twitch.tv/detox_TV. I need to get rid of that TV bit at the end. It's kind of pointless. But that's where you can find me on Twitch. I have a YouTube as well, but it's mostly highlights and things. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch. Also a member of Redacted with the Noobifier, although I'm not quite as good at the YouTubes as he is. I'm a variety streamer, but I play a lot of Star Citizen, primarily Star Citizen. I'd say Star Citizen is the anchor of our community. Kind of thing you can expect from my stream. Basically, a lot of Starship Troopers parody references. I'm a massive Starship Troopers fan, and I have a big parody theme going on throughout my channel, aka the Immobile Infantry. We keep it immobile. We play a lot of games and watch a lot of Twitch, and basically just have a good time. I try and make it as entertaining as possible. Expect theatrics and silliness and MLG gameplay.
I was going to say your branding is like I constantly on Star Citizen content creators for branding. I'm like, yeah, let's try to be unique and different in brand. Like Noobifier does a really good job, and I harped on INN before most of those guys moved over to Relay, and so now they're like, okay, we took it to heart. We're doing Relay, but the second I saw Detox, I'm like, the branding is so good. Oh my god, and it's so professional looking. Oh my god, this is my new. And then watching him, I'm like, Detox is my secret Twitch. I lurk in his channel all the damn time. whenever he's playing. I'm like, oh, Detox on.
Like that guy,
You know.
Trains.
Trainsy. And same with Chainsy.
Crazy, yeah.
Awesome. You just know, like you
Yeah.
can see a split second of his stream and you know exactly who it is. I don't know,
wanna
it's just
see
cool.
more Trainsy. I see him a lot around Twitter, and you guys, everybody seems to know Trainsy, and I haven't really got on his channel and met him properly.
How would that work for Star Citizen though?
I will drag him. Oh, he's actually going to start doing Star Citizen.
Space Trains.
Space Trains. Yeah.
Right.
He's
Just
primarily
pick up
mech
one
warrior,
Hall
right?
E behind another Hall E behind another Hall E and just go
Totally.
from
That
station
totally
to
work.
station.
I've seen some of his VODs. I love his toot toot. He's got the.
Hold on.
those,
You
things.
mean?
So good.
View-
It's so good.
View Vampire confirmed.
Oh.
No, it is cool. I haven't caught him live yet, so I need to do this. But thank you
It's
very
quite
much.
late for us, yeah.
Appreciate your kind words, sir. Look on, man. Look on. We love Lucas.
The next man on our table is a new face, but is one I've caught a couple times because he comes on right after me. Another good Star Citizen content creator, Mighty Wrath. Please tell me, who are you? Where do you hail from? What do you do in Star Citizen?
Yeah, I am Mighty Wrath. I started streaming about 3 months ago, I think it is now. And kind of just love it. It's just brilliant. Mainly streaming Star Citizen. But just recently been getting on the Conan Exiles bandwagon. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Which was absolutely fantastic. Can't get enough of that. But I am keen on checking out that Hellion as well at the end of this month. It's coming out. That looks really, really cool.
Hell, it's so good.
Oh, it looks really, really nice.
I blame
Yeah.
Mac because Mac's the one who reminded me that Hellion existed about a month or two ago, and I'm like, oh right, Hellion exists. It's only
Yeah.
going to come out, and it's going to come out in now it's about 20 days. I think is when it's coming out. So
Yeah, it's about 19 days or something like that, I think it is. Yeah, they've got a countdown on the website. So, but yeah. So other than that, I did originally start doing like YouTube videos, getting started in Star Citizen, and then kind of just fell into doing the twitching kind of stuff. And I want to go back and redo the videos because it was getting started guides. I did a few of those, but I need to update them for latest version and stuff. So.
I know Detox is going to BritisonCon. Are you going to BritisonCon as well, Wrath?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. I am definitely going there. I've got another friend of mine who wants to go, so we're going to kind of jump in his car and go down there. And,
Cool.
yeah, that'll be fun, definitely.
Alrighty, and
Absolutely.
we have Muad'Dib himself, the man who
You're never going to let that go, are you?
who rides worms and trolls in the back of Fast Cart's streams. The man who let me put my helmet in his lap during CitizenCon. Straight up, there is video evidence of that.
Why was I not aware of that evidence before?
It's actually on an official CIG stream too. That was the best part.
Man. Nice.
Twitch hashtag ban CIG. Lewd. Anyways, who are you, Daj? Where can I find you? What do you do? That kind of stuff.
Primarily, I and this dude over here run a Star Citizen podcast called Fortnightly Frontier, which comes out, once a fortnight, as the name suggests. But other than that, I don't stream. I make a few YouTube videos here and there, but most of the time you can find me lurking and trolling in Myers' stream when he does. So
Sounds about right.
actually, yeah.
Alrighty.
Always with the stupid songs and the puns, all the horrible puns.
I love the puns. Gotta love the puns. And Fortnightly
Everybody
Frontier,
loves the puns.
as its name suggests, is every 2 weeks, right? Star
Yes,
Citizen
yes,
podcast.
Once
Yeah.
a fortnight, yeah.
Once a
Well,
fortnight.
we stream live on Sundays at every second Sunday on Mars channel, and then the following Wednesday we put it up on YouTube on our YouTube channel. We're also introducing a new segment where we're not really sticking to the schedule, and it's on wherever it is. So whenever our guests have the chance to come on. So basically, we're interviewing several people from either the CIG community or CIG themselves, hopefully. And or just I'm toying with the idea of doing live commentary of streams by CIG.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the comments that Ugly Old Gamer made about Detox and Fire.
Damn that man. Damn him.
I didn't read that. I was too busy subscribing to your awesome
Yeah,
emotes.
thank
Check
you.
that shit out.
Thank you for the subscription, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Wow.
Alrighty. So, lastly, but certainly not leastly, CIG famous, the man who asks the hard questions of CIG.
And the token black guy of this roundtable.
Of course.
we have to have
Black
black
on the inside.
Yeah. we always have to fill the minority quota, right? That's how it works. Because that's totally how this whole thing works.
Hey,
Indeed.
I'm quarter, so representing brother.
But,
Respect, man.
No, it actually started out as originally I was going to do this as kind of a mini British Con because I can't get all of the UK content creators on at once. So I was like, I'll just get all the Brits, and then I was like, I still got 2 people and Board's not available. So anybody else want to go in? And so Darge was available and Nubify was available. So
Canada is a little bit of a commonwealth, right?
Yeah, see,
Yeah. So,
and Darge is in.
we can
Don't-
allow it.
Darge is closer to the UK than I am, so I figured it would be that was a good one.
Very rough and very loose definition of UK people.
That way.
He's in the generic area,
Close enough to bomb them.
There you go.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's not
The
nice.
problem is you can't really find my country on the map, so it's so small.
Where is it, Dodge?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Which country we
We're talking about Slovenia. Everybody go to Google Maps.
Hold on. Slovenia.
find
Sorry.
this? I'm gonna find this right now.
Yeah.
How do you not know where Slovenia is?
Yeah, duh.
Just kidding.
It was
Hey, look.
it was one of those countries that got broken up during the last 30, 40 years. It used to be a part of a bigger country and became a smaller country.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So.
I see you. Okay.
Anyways, if you guys hit !pod follow in the chat, you guys will be able to follow all of these people. I'm going to put all of their links in the YouTube description if you're watching this on YouTube down below, so you can go check these guys out. Their Twitters, their YouTubes, their Twitches, all of that kind of stuff. So the first question of the day, and I'm going to make up the big one first because I want to, is what do you feel about 2.6.1's addition of regional servers? We'll go around. We'll start with Meyer and go back the other direction to figure out what you guys like the
Right,
idea.
So regional servers, I mean, of course, for most people, for most gamers, regional servers come as a kind of like a expected thing. And for many, it'll make the game playable for them. I've kind of had to play the game from the get-go with really serious ping and stuff like that. So I'm used to it now. I feel like once it does get rolled out, I hope that we'll be able to choose to be able to just kind of play with North American people because, like, we're all in these like massive communities together, but like we're global, right? So if I'm playing by myself or I want to make a video or something or I want to chill out, sure, then I want to use regional servers because then, it's a better gameplay. But if I want to explore with friends, I still want to be able to play with the Astropub. I don't want to be locked out, That's all. That's kind of like what I'm worried about with the whole regional thing.
I'm going to echo your concerns later, and I'll bring it up later. But yeah, it's very so
Right.
similar. Darsh, how about you?
Right. I
Oh, God.
have a passage prepared,
Okay.
and it does reflect my opinion of this. Zarquan coughed. He peered round at the assembled gathering. The stars in his eyes twinkled uneasily. He handled the microphone with confusion. He said, "Hello. Look, I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I've had the most ghastly time, all sorts of things cropping up at the last moment." He seemed nervous. Of the expectant odd hush, he cleared his throat. And so the universe ended.
That's it, then.
Can we
I
get like
think-
a timer?
Then it's
Like a chess timer.
I'm actually just gonna mirror Meyer's response because, for ping, it's been horrible, and hopefully, combined with all the network fixes that 2.6.1 is bringing, it'll bring not just Star Marine but also other gameplay to something more playable than it is right now when you're trying to play with other people. I mean, in a multiplayer game, sometimes that happens. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Mighty?
I'm really interested to see how they will actually implement it. Like Mike was saying, we're going to choose our regions, but then how are we going to kind of join in with other people from around the world? Is it going to
Yeah.
kind of synchronize with everybody, or are we is it just going to be for Arena Commander and Star Marine, or what? You know, I'd be very interested to see how they do this kind of first implementation of it. So yeah, that's my only concern, is I want to be able to get in and get a good ping, yeah, but I want to play with my mates in America or Australia or whatever. So that's my only concern.
How about you, Detox?
Yeah, it's sadly I'm just gonna kind of echo everyone else. That is the main thing for me. But yeah, it's literally just I want it to be if they go down this route for the main release, if they go down the route of separating continents like this, it's going to be a big deal breaker for me. So I know it's cut just for 2.6.1, and they're getting it in initially, but surely we should be testing this technology ASAP if it's really going to be, you know, into international Star Citizen server on release. But I mean, for me, if they do segregate continents and things on release, it's a big deal breaker for me.
How about you, Noobifire?
So it's easy. This is the 25 million stretch goal, which is great. Tick box. Thank you, Chris Roberts, for the Christmas present. Straight up. I did a video on this. Basically, if you wanted to have a competitive server, you could have like Europe, America, whatever, where you're high ping rate and everyone's playing on the same thing. But I want to play with Detox. I want to play with Board Gamer. That can be unranked server, a global unranked server where people can, like a mosh pit, where people can just go do whatever they want. But the leaderboard broken down into 3 quadrants or something like that is another way that they could maintain that both capabilities, right? The one that everyone wants, the high ping, or not high ping, good ping, fucking bad ping.
Everyone wants the high ping servers. Everyone is begging for that rubber banding and other shit.
Exactly. Please, I'm so used to it. It's a game feature. But like Detox was saying, though, how does this transmit over to the universe? Am I only ever going to see people in North America? You know, is he only ever going to see people? So the way I see that is we're basically waiting for the future of the internet to catch up to the game. So I'm pretty sure it's not why we're waiting. Like, that's not why the patches are coming out so slowly. Hope not. But no, I think that by the time the game is in a position where we need it for that low latency, the industry would have caught up.
I'd like to be able to
the laws
opt
of
in.
physics.
Yeah, I mean,
There's the laws of physics, because if you have like 10,000 kilometers of copper or optical cable that your signal needs to go back there and back again,
but
they're still gonna introduce some sort of latency.
there is.
Right, but if they can get rid of all this shit in between, the optical, because it's the speed of light.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the idea is that the way I've understood how they were planning on doing it was how cloud-based servers work is you have ingest servers in a local area.
Right.
Your area to the ingest server goes into that server. That server then has a fast connection to a central server or to the cloud itself. And in CIG's case, it was going to be a central server somewhere probably located in North America, where all of the information was going to be dumped into that central server, and that would be the central universe server. And then everyone's ping would be evened out there at some point. So you would slow people down depending on... So everyone is just about the same level of ping, no matter where you are. Very similar to how Blizzard does Overwatch. But the difference between, like, say, Overwatch and Star Citizen is that Overwatch does generous amounts of like auto aim, not necessarily auto aim, but like aim correction to help people out, because it's designed as much more of a casual shooter. So, you know, it's much more generous for people who aren't super focused on it. But there's a lot of games that do that as well. It's one of the reasons why MMOs have stuck to the WoW formula rather than like the more skill-based formula, because it's difficult. That ping is so important. So
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if that's still going to be the case with this, because the one thing that stuck out to my mind was that Chris Roberts in his letter specifically said, choose your server, which to me says, let me get you an invite. Sorry about that.
But this is the same reason, like our org is, we're trying very hard to keep everyone in one geographic area to try to mitigate as much as possible, so that if they do that, they say, okay, I can't play with the Aussies easily, or I'll never see him unless I purposely group up with him, then at least I'm able to stick with my org. So maybe a large org like Test, not saying they have to split up, but maybe that that could be one way for the future, at least temporarily, until they figure it out. If they figure it out.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think the problem is that this feels like the first compromise they've had to make. I mean, we all knew that they were going to do servers in Australia and Europe. They said that. They said that a long time ago that they would do.
Yeah.
That they were going to do that. That's part of what their plans were for the long term use of the alpha. But this feels a lot more, hey, we couldn't figure it out, so fuck you, we're just going to go with the traditional route. Which is not bad, but again, it's one of those CIGs, one of the big CIG problems is communication. They don't like to talk to us when something happens. They just kind of let us figure it out on our own, which is a terrible way of handling a community, because then we come up with shit. Yeah. So
it's that is, like I said, it's a big thing for me. Like, I want to be able to play EVE Online style in first person. That's like the dream for me. But I mean, we have an org where it's we've got people from all over the place. Europe. A lot of our org is from South Africa, which is really weird. I know. I joined the org a long time after it's established, so. But we have a lot of people from South Africa. It was originally a South African community, online gaming community, and latency and issues. I guess it's not as actually. No, it is probably pretty bad to South Africa from Europe, for example. But yeah, it's just going to create problems for a lot of orgs who have multi-international orgs set up.
I feel like the way that Star Citizen works, like, sure, there's dogfighting, sure, there's FPS. But I don't think that they would ever lock us away from being able to play with our friends, mainly because, like, yes, there are those things, and yes, there's racing, but there's so many other things you can do in Star Citizen, like, be a trader, be somebody in somebody's ship, be a crewman, somebody who's doing the power stuff. I mean, like, 60 discrepancy in ping isn't gonna, like, change a good engineer from another. I don't think, anyway. Like,
but given the option to try to mitigate that. And like I said, I have great faith in CIG is going to be able to figure it out now, especially now that they're on with Amazon, kind of a big name. Made me very happy when I heard that.
Hold on. But, Amazon Prime available. No, I'm sorry. I was going to say, no, partner. I am contractually obligated to shill for Amazon.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Total bullshit. You should subscribe and get some cool emotes.
Yeah, no, but and the thing is that AWS servers are fantastic. They've been using them for a long time. They're also one of the few cloud-based servers that actually has cloud-based servers in Australia, which is one of the big things. Like, I think Australia is one of the largest backer groups out there, next to Germany. Like, I think it goes like US, either UK or Germany. I think UK has more than Germany, than Australia, and then the rest of, like, parts of Europe and Canada and so on and so forth.
What? We have the largest gaming community ever. It's winter. What else are we going to do?
In terms of Star Citizen backers, yeah. But
pew, pew.
I think Canada is like the 4th or 5th, but like
Australia, we're nowhere.
But Australia is like, it's one of the top or the higher ones, and they always get shafted when it comes to multiplayer gaming. They always get shafted with multiplayer gaming because of their connections and such. So,
Paul, sorry.
Another thing that's going to fix a lot of. You're quite.
You're
a little soft. Yeah. One of the things you should try to do is go to the video settings. I boosted your volume a little bit so I could hear you better, but I think that's good. Go to video settings and then go to audio under settings, and you'll see a little box that says automatically adjust microphone volume. Unclick that, because otherwise it'll like squelch your volume.
How about now? Is this any louder?
That's much better.
Is that much better? Okay.
Yeah.
No, maybe. Yes, maybe.
A little bit.
At least Detox not reading passages out of a book.
How about now?
Much better. That's much louder. Yeah. Okay. Much louder.
Too loud?
I don't know about better, but louder, yeah.
Words Meyer hears in his bedroom all the time.
Alrighty, cool. Excellent.
Okay, but it's not only the regional servers that are going to bring the pings down or the desync. It's also a lot to do with the way the netcode is currently being addressed. And Meyer, you're going to have to help me with this? Who is the guy that we had as the video of the Fortnite on the previous episode? Because he did a great netcode analysis,
yes.
all the packets and stuff like that. He basically found out that the servers and clients are communicating with each other on a 30 hertz tick rate, and the packets are so immense that sometimes they're split up into 3 separate packets, so you only get one piece of information every 100 milliseconds only, instead of 10 milliseconds like you're supposed to, in a proper multiplayer scenario. So once all the proper netcode is in, and you're not getting all the information of the entire system being sent to you all the time, I think that's when a lot of the desync issues are going to be removed, regardless of whether you're playing on your local server or across the world.
So the guy you're talking about is actually called Battle Nonsense, and
That's the
he
one.
does make a great video about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's all nonsense.
they also
Yeah.
they've also come out and said that they're using really shitty server technology. They're using the cheapest of the cheap that they can find, because
And that'll change.
and that will change. And the idea was
Yeah.
that if they can make it optimized, if they can optimize the shitty servers to make it work for Star Citizen, then it cheapens. Then their costs go down over time. Now that may have changed since they went with AWS, but if you look at the Lumberyard's website, the only game that is featured in Lumberyard website is Star Citizen. It's right now, according to at least Lumberyard's official website, it is the only game that uses the engine for what they wanted to do. So.
Right.
Cool. So at least for the time being, should have,
Focus.
or focus, or at least we won't have
100
competition on the
yeah.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
£100 million guinea pig.
Why
So-
not?
Hey, at the very least, it's got, and I've said this before, is that it has Amazon's backing. If you have Amazon, which is a big server company, a big company for servers and the like, that then just for business, let alone gaming, and they want to get into gaming, and they back Star Citizen saying, hey, you prove that you can do what you're doing with our servers, then we can sell more servers. That's a pretty big boost of competencies,
Yeah, I
I
guess
think.
so.
So.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll
good.
have a sort of AWS branded company in Star Citizen lore, just like we had AMD for the racing.
I'd love to see that.
Isn't that how we have Spectrum now? Because of some stuff that they had to do with a company called Spectrum earlier?
No. I mean, Spectrum. No. Spectrum existed
Cool name.
before, and then
Right.
I think Time Warner eventually took the name Spectrum for their internet service just because they did. But now,
Right.
even though Spectrum is literally the internet in Star Citizen lore, and it happened well before they changed the name to Spectrum for the other one. But yeah,
Right on. Okay. So coincidence.
yeah, or
Awesome.
Time Warner was like, we like what you got, we're going to take that. It's a good idea.
We like what you got.
Yeah.
Someone get that man a beer.
I'm,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying I didn't like it. If
Everyone said
you're
he didn't
into
like it.
rum, if you're into rum, you're going to like this because, it says rum finish, and it's exactly what it is. It's a beer with a rum finish. But I think I should.
What was it? What was it?
Innocent Gun, oak aged beer with a rum finish.
Oh, yeah, we have that here, I think.
As long as it's not chocolate flavored.
Dude,
What?
chocolate flavored ales and stouts are amazing.
Chocolate
They're not
Scouts are
bad.
fantastic. They're not
Really?
because they're not flavored chocolate. It's just they use chocolate when in the process, so it tastes. It has the smoothness of chocolate, but not
There's
the.
the Wells Double Chocolate Stout, which is kind of named incorrectly because it doesn't use chocolate; it uses just the cocoa seeds. So there's no sweetness, there's no milk in it, and that's fantastic. It's so amazing. Oh,
Well, I've never tried a chocolate flavored beverage other than chocolate.
chocolate milk.
Hot chocolate.
This
Yeah.
one,
Hot chocolate, yeah.
Yeah,
I meant like in a beer, in a beer. It's
Now-
Wells
Sounds weird.
Double Chocolate Stout is amazing, and I suggest to everyone. And I
And-
wish I had one right now.
And I think Darj does point out that the good point. I think that most chocolate stouts and chocolate like beers actually use the cocoa beans or rather than the actual chocolates to make them. So
yeah.
anyways, moving back to Star Citizen.
things like that. Yeah, back to Star Citizen. Back to
Well,
Well, this is the Astropub, you know.
this is the captain's table. We kind of go off wherever the hell we feel like it. The other thing I want to talk about, and this is one of those things that it's been on my mind, and I'd like to hear you guys' opinion. Just kind of a free for all for this one. Is what do you guys think about the new format for ATV? Do you like it? Not like it? Is there any suggestions, some changes you'd like to make?
Whatever you do, don't go into the comment sections on YouTube because my God.
That's just a general rule of thumb. Don't go to comment sections on YouTube.
So I like the fact that
comment
they
section. It's the funnest
split.
part.
It's popcorn. It's just absolute popcorn.
It is.
They took community out of ATV and gave it its own thing, which I think is neat because people, some people don't want to see community. Shame on you. But some people just want to see the info, and that's fine. And then all of that stuff they can go watch somewhere else. So yeah, I don't mind it.
And
Again,
then
that
they have the happy hour. Which it has like a big I'm gonna say this the following, but the point of it is interaction with the community,
right?
Yeah, and then you have the same people hating on that because
you're not gonna get everyone happy all the time. As soon as you change something, people are pissed off with what they have, and you change it, and the same people are still pissed off. It's just the way that we work, right?
Especially Star Citizen community. There are definitive like 5 or 6
nothing
camps.
better to do than bitch about ATV. So
I love it. The last episode was amazing. I love how they kept the music throughout the entire episode just because it was about music. And then you have the top comment on YouTube. Can you please turn the music off? I'm trying to listen. Or something like that. It was about the music, you butthole.
No, I thought it was really interesting, to see it, how difficult or how challenging it's been for them to get all this music in, which you kind of take for granted, even though it's like a big part of a game. I mean, if you think of a movie, your favorite movie, and take out the audio from it, take out the music scores from it, it's like, are you going to be as engrossed in that as what you are? I think it's just the music really adds something, and to have this system that they're putting in there, I think it's just absolutely fantastic. I really can't wait to see it progress, and see what they've done with it.
The system they found out to switch between like a high-paced music, normal, or chill, to switch it at the crescendo is just a stroke of genius because it works so well.
Yeah, no, and
same music composed at a different sort of intensity levels, and then just switch at that specific point, and it just works.
Yeah, and it's also all right. So with ATVs, I like the focus that hey, we're going to talk about one thing, and we're going to talk about that for the most of this period, and we're going to have a little bit of an update beforehand. It's good. I think I like that style. However, I think that a lot of people are going to have to take some time. Just like every time CIG changes something, they're going to take some time for them to get used to the idea that you're no longer going to get an hour or 30 minutes of just pure content information and then move on. They're going to go for months without hearing anything from Sean
deep
Tracy.
dive into one thing.
Yeah.
So and then people are used to like the intro and Sandy, and then something, and then something, and then MVP, and then something, and then gone. Yeah. People are used to that pacing, and again, just like Berserker's saying, you got to pace yourself.
Yeah,
you got to get used to it, and it should be fun. They're going to take your feedback and make it better.
Yeah, like in previous seasons, they had the format that we are familiar with. Then they changed it last year, and people were like, wow, this is much better. Oh my God, like all this information. And then they've kind of changed it again. And it's kind of like they've abandoned the previous format that Nubify was just talking about. And they've kind of brought in elements from like, I wouldn't say discontinued, but less featured features, like 10 for the chairman. I mean, like when they were doing the thing before about subsumption, that was pretty much 10 for the devs plus some questions that they fed in themselves as well. I personally, it's not a bad idea, because if they're not going to have those other things on the regular to make around the verse, kind of feature those things, but I think they should label it for what it is, as opposed to kind of like just making it kind of like a miscellaneous show.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot more information out if you do a deep dive rather than just a few minutes from this section, a few minutes from that section, and then just you never properly answering any question if you're keep mixing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, a stew once in a while is fine, but I'd rather have a dish that's, very precise. It's not, just a bunch of leftovers from the fridge thrown into the pot. And
Are
here
we
you
a
go.
cooking podcast now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Leftover pizza,
The
confirmed.
captain's table.
Welcome to the captain's kitchen table. We're going to be starting
I like
tonight.
the,
Tonight
good
is
analogy
stews
there, Mike.
and soups. Yeah, no.
With LTI.
With LTI.
Yeah.
I liked the quantum questions, by the way. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was
did
a really
too.
good idea.
I
Yeah.
may or may not also be biased about the community spotlight stuff because I may or may not have been featured in the community spotlight this week, unknown to me. So, thank you, CIG again.
That was pretty awesome of them, to be fair.
But I like the idea because what they're doing with that is like, hey, let's take some people who we know, who we can trust, who we like, and let's highlight them. Same with things like what is it called? The happy hour. The happy hour works really well for that kind of stuff as well. It's great to bring people on, have them talk, and then they're getting a formula down. Breaking it up into multiple things and letting like the community team community is helpful.
I like
gives me
it
a
because
reason
it's
to
like-
come home from work. Come see you.
Yeah, I like
one
it 'cause,
show. Sorry.
Like a happy hour was like, then people are like, oh my god, who wants to know about the community? Then they're like, you know what? Have another one, community in your face, Astropub.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, and that's the
Take it
thing.
all.
And that's the thing is that I think honestly there's and this is something I've noticed with a lot of gaming communities, but with Star Citizen community in particular, is that there's some very violent lashbacks against content creators. And I've mentioned this on tables before, and I've mentioned on my stream before, is that it's like places like Reddit, people, even the forums, are very anti-content creator. They don't like the idea of content creators. And I think the problem is that people are who are older in this generation, so a lot of them are like, I don't want to watch people play video games. I want to play video games.
Yeah.
May I offer
Crash.
about Reddit? About Reddit, I think I've not necessarily figured it out, but I've come to a happy medium with Reddit. I used to post videos on Reddit, and they would tank because it's a video. Now, what's Reddit all about? Reddit's
Discussion.
about text.
Yeah.
Text. People there don't want to watch videos; they want to read. So put shit up there that they can read, and then at the bottom, put your video in. People love it.
Yeah, no, people love
idea,
that. There are things like that work very, very well, especially with videos like you do. But like when you do something like a gameplay video, or if you do like a podcast, I'm not going to write a freaking monologue about this whole podcast
and you
post
can't.
it on
Like
Reddit.
it doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't have place on Reddit because they want to read it. They want to read it.
However,
they
other
though?
no, they don't. That's the thing is that other people will post podcasts, but because they're either not as popular or because they have some sort of specific thing they're saying, then people will upvote it. It's and the thing is that it's specific. It's not specific content creators, but it's specific types of content through the community that people don't like. And again, I think it's because we haven't.
Post your own stuff. That's
the other
suicide.
thing. Yeah, it's
Don't do
Self
it.
promotion. They just
Don't do it. And don't make an alternate just so that you can do it. Ask a friend, hey, if you like what like the podcast, put a
Post
positive spin on it, throw it up there. If it sinks, it sinks. It's more views. Like, don't lament about it. Don't worry about it.
No, I know. But I find that it's an interesting concept because it dives directly into the issue with the people complaining about the community content. It's like, well, we don't give a shit about these streamers. And then people saw what the happy hour was, and the happy hour was, here, let's talk about the streamer. Let's plug the streamer. Let's play a little bit with the streamer, and then we're gonna move on to questions for actual people.
Grilling the devs.
Yeah.
And it means that streamer becomes a surrogate for the community to talk to the developers. And it's not like we're so diverse as a community of content creators that we have people from all perspectives on Star Citizen who will ask different questions. We'll have Meyer asking some questions. It'll be different from Sergeant Gamble, which will be different from Bristol Boy, which will be different from
Gray-headed gamers.
Gray-headed gamers. Yeah, we'll all ask different styles of questions because they come at Star Citizen from different angles. And I think that's where the community has kind of fallen down a little bit in terms of like, we hate this content. It's like, yeah, but you do what CIG is trying to say is go talk to these people, ask them questions, have conversations with them. They might be able to have conversations with CIG as well. It's kind of as liaisons for the rest of the community.
I've been thinking about this, and I think that what these people resent the most is that the content that CIG produces is evolving with the company, because
Yeah.
it started with just a few people in a shed in a basement, and they were very involved with the community. But now there's hundreds of people working on it. There's rigid infrastructure and hierarchy, and they are a multinational company. They have to behave in an adult sort of way. So they also brought up the not only the quality but also the content of the videos they produce to that sort of level, and a lot of people just resent that they've distanced themselves from the original mom and pop little
But
shop on
the
corner.
community may have broken that. The community themselves, we're so hungry for information and to spit it back out at the community that maybe they always have to think, if we say something, then that has to go into the game. Right?
Yeah.
So I imagine there's a lot of knee-jerk reaction, like a lot of concern that I even noticed at Ben.
Concern.
Yep. Concern. Yeah.
Concern.
Ben Lesnick, you can see when he's someone's asking him a question and the hamster goes and he has to think, am I clear to say this or not? And it's been something that was on Around the Verse 5 months ago, and he still has to stop and think about it. Not saying that anything bad about it. It's just you can tell that there's a genuine concern for releasing something that's not supposed to be out there because it means that it has to go in the game. Pets confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or like that one slip of the tongue that one dude said about VR being, don't hold your breath, meaning something to the degree of the fact that it's on the back burner for so long because we're not going to really worry about it.
And it should be.
Yeah.
Sorry, it should be, because we have a game that you can't even shoot a guy, so why do I need to see it in 3D? If I can't shoot him, it doesn't fucking matter.
I can't
The thing is, you can't even get 15 frames per second on a single
Right.
screen
So
in the
everyone's
PTU.
gonna be
How are you going to
blowing
get
up.
90 per eye? Yeah.
No,
Don't need it. Don't need it now. That's all.
no, definitely not. Be horrendous.
It just
no,
and
I
the
don't
phrase
visit- I don't visit-
hold your breath just means
Years.
it's not coming soon. Yeah, well, but it doesn't mean we've completely ditched it.
It has to be in the game. It's going to be in the game eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
What was that details?
Perfect.
I was just saying I don't visit Reddit. I know we're talking about something
Yeah.
like that, but I don't know.
don't
I don't
Reddit.
know about this content creator pitchforks mob with
It's-
torches and shit. It sounds scary. I'm never going to go there
Yeah,
again.
don't. It's a horrible place. It's evil. No, it's
Silly place.
it's the thing about it is that the thing that I've noticed is that I think, and again, the reason why I said it is because I think we have an older community of people who, generally speaking, don't get YouTube or Twitch. And I think when people finally get into Twitch and YouTube, they get it. But just from the outset, looking at it, they're like, why would I want to watch this?
Why not just go play it
Why
myself?
just go play it myself? I have
Yeah.
a better experience. And then when
I'm not like
Guilty of that, to be honest.
I've had a couple people who I've talked to at PAX South who talked about how, when they first started doing that, they would write their sons or their teenage sons. I'm like, why are you doing this shit? It's, why don't you just go play the game rather than watching people? And then they said, 2 years later, they've got 4 different Twitch streams up, watching each one of them and doing something else. So
No, but they say this, why are you watching somebody else play the game while there's a football game on one TV and there's a baseball game on another TV? Why don't you just go out and play baseball or football? I mean, what's the difference?
yeah,
It's just like watching golf. It's entertainment. People watch it because it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't watch most of the time. I don't watch Twitch streams and YouTube videos for the game. I watch it for the person doing it.
Exactly. I was going to say my wife didn't get it. I'm married, and my wife didn't get it when I said, I'm going to do this Twitch thing. It's going to be great. She was like, why would anyone come and watch you play a game? I was like, oh, well, thanks. Thanks a lot. Brilliant. Yeah,
Thanks, wife.
yeah. I'm really entertaining. And I was like, you watch. And when she started watching and she saw the interaction between stream and the people viewing and stuff like that, she thought, oh, wow, now I get it, And now she comes in and says, hey, and throws rude words in and stuff, gets all into it. So it's like,
It's the
there you
future.
go.
Message
That's all
deleted.
my opinion.
Message
Yeah,
deleted.
exactly. Yeah.
Ban.
the last topic I really want to touch on about is with the progression that we've been seeing in Star Citizen in terms of specifically with the development process. This is one of those people that everyone asks, but do you guys have a feeling about when 2. It's not a when question, but do you think we're going to get the A 2.7 or something in between 2.6.2 and 3.0? And if we do you think that'll push back or that 3.0 is actually further away than most people think?
I think
We're doing.
You'll start with you, Noob.
Okay. I think that we have. It would be reckless to think that they can push 2.6.2 right to 2.3, which is full balls planetary landing.
3.0, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, 3.0.
3.0. 3.0.
3.0.
Yes.
I'm confused.
I need.
All the
I think that
numbers.
there needs to be something in between where it's like a test, like a desolate planet, a little planet, or something that we can practice landing on to get that mechanic done, and then worry about the big planet with all the water and the schmutz on it.
Schmutz.
Could do, yeah.
Like,
I mean, we already have these moons without atmosphere, without any sort of features apart from craters.
Yeah.
They could just let us land on those.
and it could be ugly.
still-
Like, it doesn't have to look pretty. It could look like
Yeah,
a golf ball.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's and still keep the confines of the system to Crusader and its moons for like 2.7, and then in 3.0 we get the entire standard system.
Right.
Sorry, I cut in, but I
It's
just
okay.
I do that.
Detox.
I've been saying this for a while. I think we're going to get, like, the 3.0 that we've seen at SitCon is not the 3.0 we're going to get. We're going to get, like, a very washed-down, small version of 3.0, and then they're just going to expand on it until it becomes the 3.0 that we saw at SitCon on the amazing slides. I think it's going to be a while before 3.0 is anything near what we're expecting to see. And like you guys said, I think we'll get lots of little bits, some of the features and systems that will be in 3.0 before it truly becomes the 3.0 we're expecting to see. That's how I view it. I think
3.x.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like it'll be like a 3 point something, but it won't be 3.0. So kind of thing. And then they'll expand it. I don't think it's going to stick to the slides at all.
They never stuck to their roadmaps. Their roadmaps have always been wrong. Every single time.
And I mean, even the roadmap below the current schedule report says the Caterpillar's coming in 3.0.
Yeah. Which is like,
Fucking right it is. M50 confirmed.
yeah. How about you, Wraith? Wrath? Oh, Wraith. I always add an I there.
I don't know. I kind of think that what they showed at SeaCon is probably what we're going to get plus extra, because people are going to be expecting that, right? And if they don't kind of deliver that feeling, I think they know that people are going to be kind of upset and pissed off. So I think that we're going to get that and a bit more, I think. And then they will expand as well. But I don't think it's going to be before we get like an extra few patches after 2.6.2. I think we'll probably get another 1 or 2 after that, in my opinion, I think.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Dosh?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, God.
We return back.
All right. Hold on.
Ready?
Let me do this. There you go. Crab. Got it.
Anything that happens, happens. Anything that in happening causes something else to happen, causes something else to happen. Anything that in happening causes itself to happen again, happens again. It doesn't necessarily do it in chronological order, though.
How long did it take you to prepare these?
I'm just opening this book at random and finding excellent passages because The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is an amazing book with content that, yeah.
Wait a minute.
Anyway.
How did you get that in Slovenia? I'm just kidding.
Amazon.co.uk.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. See, I totally fucked up.
Well, yeah, you have.
Does he have it? Does he know?
Well, the thing is, do we know whether the stuff that we saw on all the live streams is actual solid 3.0 content, or is it something that they hacked together to show us just for the presentation, just like they were trying to do with the Squadron 42 vertical slice, but then decided to just abandon it? If it is just a bunch of content they cobbled together, yeah, we might not see it, but I still remain hopeful that all the stuff that we saw in both the Gamescom demo for Levski and the Homestead demo with the Desert Planet, I think all of that is something that we will actually see in 3.0, but we will see a lot of patches after 2.6.2. I also see that because I think internally they have said 3.0 will have these things, but we haven't said that there will be other patches before it.
They did actually say that, and then they said that there's going to be no more patches after 2.6. They go straight to 3.0. But
well, 2.6 as a major content patch. Anything point after that is a bug fixing patch. So they're kind of
Alpha 2.6.1 alpha would be a bug fix. No, but I'm just saying, like, there's no. They wrote the book on Star Citizen. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can make 30 patches between now and 3.0.
Yeah, they can.
Right? So, and I would almost rather that because then at least we have incremental content to play with and talk about. Right? There's a drought to 3.0, and anything that they give us in between now and then is lovely.
Go ahead, Meyer.
Noob's like, give me stuff.
So,
give me stuff. Like, give me more hoplite. I don't care.
So the question was, after 2.6.1 or 2.6.2, will there be a 2.7 or whatever before we get to 3.0?
Yeah.
So everybody has mentioned before, okay, so 3.0 is going to have all these things that are listed here. So that's kind of what we have to expect for when the big 3.0 gets knocked out. For most MMOs, like World of Warcraft being one example, but almost every other one, before an expansion pack, there's always a step up patch where you have part of the features that are ready to go before the main meat of the package gets put through. So it's expected. Expect patches which will have a lot of stuff for 3.0, but not be 3.0. I mean, there's so much content for 3.0. I mean, like, think about it. We have planetary landings, the planetary system. We have the different jobs and stuff like that, like bounty hunting, cargo, all that kind of stuff. There's so many things going into this 3.0 thing. It would be silly not to think, hey, well, surely they're going to have to be, step up patches to fix things before you. Putting too much content at one go is going to be a nightmare to fix. It's just going to be one big buggy mess. It's going to be,
and it's boring.
Yeah, every major part of the patch of the 3.0 patch should have sort of test bed patch come before it, or is
of course,
is it the landings, is it different jobs, is it I don't know, could it be even the grabby hand system for manipulating cargo? I think that should come into the game, at least for the PTU.
Yeah,
and
this is
so
what I mean by
they have the code for it. Sorry.
Yeah, this is what I mean by 3.0 won't be the big wow, we have all this stuff suddenly. It will be like bit by bit. There's no way if they dropped all that shit at one time. I don't know, my computer would blow up. I don't know how I'd handle it.
Yeah.
So it has to be done incrementally.
I'm looking to my crystal ball, and I'm going to. I said this before, and I think this is probably what we're going to be seeing in the near future, anyways. Is that I think CIG bit off way too much that they can chew at 3.0, and I think they're looking at it right now and going, "There's no way we can put all this in one patch," because the community even
Far
said,
too many features.
"There's no way you're doing this in one patch because it'll take a year for you to get this out, and it's basically its own game. You're essentially getting with 3.0, it's essentially its own game." And this the start of the first game. Everyone calls it the start of Star Citizen Alpha, really, like the very first, because you actually have more features, the features that are based, like the basic features that you need for everything else, all and so on and so forth. And
you actually have a game to play.
Yeah, and I've said this before. It's going to be the biggest patch of Star Citizen ever because of the way that all the features they want to put in. So my guess is they've looked back and they were like, "Fuck, there's no way we can do this." So instead,
Chris Roberts.
they're probably going to release
lofty.
And saying something like 2.7, a 2.8, and probably even a 2.9 patch before this year, and at the end of this year have a 3.0 with everything that they wanted to have in 3.0. But with 2.7, add more things that they wanted, like actual content that was originally going to be in the 3.0 patch, and 2.8.
They could technically put cargo in 2.7.
Exactly, they could put a cargo in, and then 3.0 would be the actual
all of these
full
things
system.
Are being built independently. So again, until it's feature like content locked at 3.0, we'll have this. There's nothing saying we could have gotten the Star Marine technically with 2.5 if it was ready, just because we got it at 2.6. So again, I hate thinking about shit like that in the future and then being wrong. But I'm going to say it. There's nothing stopping them from instituting that in a mid patch.
And I see this as being a big thing for them because that's the only way I can see them doing it while saving face. Because if they delay 3.0 beyond the summers are always summers are traditionally horrible. And if they go, hey, we're adding in features, but we're not getting full 3.0, then when someone comes in and be like, you said 3.0 is coming out in the end of last year. Man, now it's not, it's fucking August and we don't have 3.0. Where's 3.0 CIG with like that kind of bullshit? You'd be like, listen, we said it already. Here's your cargo mechanics. It was supposed to be in 3.0, but we have it done. Here, it's already in game.
I must say, and I have to say, from the entire table, I do love how like low our expectations are of CIG to deliver this 3.0 thing. It's gonna be amazing if, like, you know, they're like, you know what, hold my beer. Here's all the features. Screw you, Captain's Table.
We were burned by SitCon. I'm not one to be a hater, but SitCon was a letdown. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
No, I think the last 4 months of development in Star Citizen the last year was a huge eye opener for most of the community. I went from going, yeah, we'll get 3.0 by the end of the year, possibly, maybe it'll slip into like February.
142 by Christmas, no problem, buddy.
And then after CitizenCon, I was just like, this game's not coming out till 2020. Like they just it's just so
but that's
long.
okay.
That's
I would
fine.
rather us be on that side, surprised that it's there, than falsely telling people, oh, don't worry, in 2016 we're going to be flying, the Javelin.
Yeah. No, we're a long way to go from this game, and I think the community really needs to understand that. There's a lot of people who still have this false hope, and they don't really have good expectation setting because they're like, 3.0 is supposed to be 3 months after 2.6. It's like, nope, that ain't happening. Like, it's obvious that they've got a long way to go, and there's a lot of things they're still working out. And the problem is that CIG isn't talking to us. So if they don't talk to us and tell us about these things going on,
that's the last thing they need to fix.
Yeah.
A thing that a lot of people need to understand is a lot of these expectations and promises came from a company that was at least used to dealing with a game that was a lot smaller in scope and a company that was a lot smaller in size. And I don't think some of the people have actually caught up with just how quickly the project expanded, and they have trouble coping with it, and they're still kind of thinking with a sort of smaller scale in mind. And yeah, sure, we'll get to 3.0 at the end of the year and stuff like that, but those people need a bit of a slap in the face to sober them up and realize the reality of the situation. And I think that, but yeah, CIG as a whole needs to start communicating with the people. Just they need to release a concise and specific document detailing the situation right now and the plans, instead of just.
The schedule report is a good
step it's a step in the right direction.
Indeed.
But they also said they were going to give us a schedule report for 3.0 and Squadron 42, which they haven't done yet.
Yeah, but if they don't know when that's going to be.
Yeah, but that's another problem, is that they don't say that. They just say, and they pretend like they know what's going on.
Well,
but
do you want them to tell you that they don't have any fucking idea when 3.0 is coming out?
Yeah, because
you know how damaging that is?
It's hugely damaging. So broken. But if they don't say anything, then people continue to complain, and then like somewhere in July, people are like, where's 3.0? And
but then they can launch it at Gamescom. They're like 3.0. You're like, oh my god, nipple elation.
Yeah, but it makes the rest of the gaming community very wary to get into the game. It spreads a bad word about Star Citizen as a whole.
That's okay because the game's not coming out.
It's not okay because at the end of the day, if you want, like, the difference between having a bunch of hardcore zealot fanboys for Star Citizen versus the gaming community coming behind it and saying, hey, this is a good game, this could be revolution, this could change the way that we play gaming.
It will be.
No, it won't if no one plays it. Like look there's plenty of games out there. Look at Guild Wars. Guild Wars is a good example. It had really interesting mechanics, had really new style things, but because of a lot of the stuff they fucked with it did not reach the levels that it could have gotten with its funding model and a lot of other things.
All the people that got their money back are going to make a new account and buy the exact same shit that they had when this drops. I promise you.
But that's like 4 years from now. Like, that's the problem, is that if you...
That's fine.
I wouldn't say it is.
I don't want them playing the game
it's not 4 years
if that's the case.
No, it's 4 years from now. There's no way this game is coming out in time before 4 years. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I sound super negative.
Do you want to ante up?
Yeah, no, I've already anteed up about that. I will bet Another fine case of like a good Scotch. I'll bet a good Scotch.
Romulan ale.
Okay,
A good
no,
Scotch.
it's Scotch from me and a case of 6-pack of good beer from
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. For that
Okay.
Star Citizens as not going
Star
to release
Citizen initial release 2018 for me. You say 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Okay, I'll shake on that.
2018. Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dodge,
I'm a
that's
little
some
bit more
serious
optimistic than
optimism.
that.
You are?
Yeah. I'm hoping for Squadron 42 by CitizenCon.
No, we're not getting Squadron 42 till 2018. I mean, like if we get it,
Ooh, hater.
No. Heavy fire. Heavy fire. Are you coming to CitizenCon this year?
Of course I am.
I'm
I'd
not.
be
Okay,
crazy
if-
not to.
You're not.
I'd be crazy if I'm
Paul.
not.
I'm not.
Paul, you're not.
No.
Okay, if Squadron 42 drops, the Nubifar and I are sharing the spoils of the bet.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
and
but-
let me do this way. I
we were
hope
going to do that anyways.
I hope I'm wrong. Okay, I will say that.
Yeah.
But I want to be realistic about this. And the problem is that there are plenty of people out there with unrealistic expectations for Star Citizen, and
Yeah.
everyone
But Meyer
says,
said it right.
"Oh,
Not one of the content creators thinks that it's coming out next year. That's for sure.
no,
So
of course
it's
not.
good. Finally, we're smart. We've been
But-
made smart by last year.
yeah."
You are so smart.
SMR.
Fool me once, blah,
But-
blah, blah, fool me twice, and all that stuff.
But I mean, we're in a situation.
You never get fooled again.
We're in a situation where I think we're a lot further behind on some things than we think. But it's because CIG doesn't want to talk to us about it, and of course, there's reasons why for Squadron 42.
We're
But
building it from the ground up, though.
they are, and
Yeah.
the problem is
Yeah,
they
they changed engines. They need to start all the work from the ground up. Yeah.
yeah totally no. But the thing is they have said that several times, that they've completely they built out an entire system only to scrap it and rebuild it from the ground up to see if it works again, which then loses months of development time. So yeah, it does take a longer time because you're innovating, and that makes sense. But at the same time, we learned about that only 6 months after they already scrapped it and rebuilt the whole damn thing. And so, and in the meantime, we're sitting here going, "Where's the game?" So, I mean, I think what my honest point of saying this whole thing is, like, we need to, as a community, understand to get new people in, and when we get new people in who say, "Oh, I'm interested in this game," say, "Listen, this game isn't coming out anytime soon. What you see is what you get for at least till the end of the year, at least to the end of the year. This is what you're going to get. So if you can't handle that, come back later. It's going to cost you more money, but come back later."
But I'm making that, I'm actually making that video right now, the Managing Expectations video. It's welcome to Star Citizen. Here's what you need to know.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you're about to inherit, that's like a good word, a whack of baggage. And, it's positive and like flag waving fanboyism. I like the game. I think it's going to be a good video. But the best thing I could think of is all those people in the forums that are like, will my PC run it? Or, all of the thousands of questions which we've heard over and over again. You can literally click this video and, done. That's the point.
Brilliant.
So,
Another
Look
thing
forward to it.
that people, or at least we, the majority of the CG community, we need to realize how fucking spoiled we are for
we get
content,
of course.
for information in the cars to development. So I'm not really gonna, grab a pitchfork or a torch, just because CIG is missing a date or they're not talking to us, because they are talking to us so much more than any other community in existence. Not just game development, but any sort of development.
No, they do a pretty good job.
Yeah, they do. And because nobody's ever done that before, they are groundbreaking. They are actually writing the book on this. And yeah, they're going to get certain things wrong. And considering there's like how many million of backers right now?
Yeah, it's not inaccurate. It's not
It's
not
not
inaccurate.
Yes,
No.
I know, but the core
Nubify has at
community,
least
the
10
core
accounts.
I haven't collected that account.
yeah, but the core complaining community makes up such a small percentage. It is statistically insignificant. So
Yeah.
we have to realize that our voices, as loud as we think they may be, don't really matter in the grand scheme of things as much as we want them to.
No.
Unfortunately.
Well,
I think there's 50,000 people tracking the game, and the rest of them are just waiting.
yeah, and the average,
that's-
the average amount of people who are playing Star Citizen at any given time is usually between, from what I've gathered, between like a couple hundred to a couple thousand maximum.
If I can join Battle Royale and not have to join a squad and know that the people that I want to play with are in there anyways, that's an indicator to tell you exactly how many people are playing. Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Definitely.
It's an alpha.
Yeah, no, and but the big difference is, and this is the big thing, is that the more the CIG can communicate how they do things, and because this is just me kind of learning through osmosis, that they really don't know where 3.0 is. They don't know where Squadron 42 is. They barely know where 2.6 is, and that's because everyone's working on their individual projects, and then the team has to come together every couple months and say, listen, what do we want in this patch? Where are we at? And then they have to communicate between 4 different studios across 4 different time zones in 2 different continents, or 3 different countries. So that's a massive effort and requires a lot of coordination and stuff like that, which takes a lot more meetings, which means a little bit slower in terms of development time. However, it means that you have everything set up in place and everything's where it should be, then it becomes much easier for you to just burst out and get it through. Which is what we've seen.
And then cue CIG releasing a 3.0 schedule report and Paul eating his foot.
I will eat my. I will get belligerently drunk if CIG releases a 3.0 schedule report. No, I don't doubt that they'll release a 3.0 scheduling report probably sometime at the end of this month or in March, because they just don't know where it is yet. So they probably are finishing up their summits. I mean, I think Chris said he was going to be in
I think
UK
the summit's already over, but now Chris is in UK. Yeah.
Yeah, in UK and Frankfurt. So he's probably working with those guys individually to figure out what's going on, all that kind of stuff. So
He's overseeing all the operations. He's basically in the trenches with everybody, leading them over. Into
And I love that. I love him for doing that, to going into all the different studios and just taking the reins over there, or at least if not taking the reins, just getting his head around specifically what they're up to.
Yeah, I mean it's like 20% of back of money is his flights, I think.
What do you think he's taking business class every time he's traveling?
Definitely, man. He's getting massages. He's
this is
getting
a bad topic.
he's getting caviar. No, I'm joking. I'm
What?
joking, I'm
What?
joking.
No private jet with Becker money? Come on.
It's important for development. Come on.
Alrighty, so
I bet it's SQ42 is the call sign for the private jet.
Yes.
Chris Roberts.
totally. We're gonna move on to the questions section.
Yeah.
Let's see where this is. The questions. If you guys have questions, exclamation point, question mark in chat, exclamation point questions, or exclamation point question in chat. All of those will bring up a form. You go to that form. You click that little link. You fill out the form, and it gets sent to me and the rest of the team here. You can ask anybody here a question. The only couple things that I have to caveat is that we are not CIG employees, but we will pretend that we are if you ask questions, and everything you can hear from us is completely 100% confirmed. And
I heard it on the Astropub.
That's what you do to go tell. That's what Disco Lando and Tyler and Captain Zylo love to hear. Is I heard it from the Astropub. That's totally exactly what they love to hear.
It's
I think
right
I have.
that right beneath Test Squadron made me come here.
Yes, and I do think that they have a voodoo doll of me in every one of their.
It was on the back wall.
Yeah,
for happy hour.
yeah.
There.
So you just stab me every time someone says something stupid. The other thing is that we will answer any question, but if it's a dumb question, we will have specific ways of answering it, and we will answer it in a dumb way. So don't ask stupid questions.
If it's a dumb question, I'm reading another chapter from this book.
Yes.
Don't ask any dumb questions.
Dodge has got it
I
covered.
can't handle that.
All right, so let me pull up the correct the questions right here. I got it.
I have to ramp up because after this I have another beer and I have to finish it before we finish.
I think I'm in line with you, Dodge. I'm on my third next.
Yeah, this was my third. Yeah.
Sadly,
Sign in.
we've gone too quickly.
Is that chocolate?
We have been.
No. This is St. Edmund's Golden Beer by Green King Brewery, and it is amazing. I could make love to this bottle all night long.
Delicious.
Please
I
don't.
gotta say, don't go for this one. This hasn't been very pleasant. This is the
Hobgoblin.
gold.
Gold hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin
Oh,
Gold isn't
yeah.
that bad. Come on.
But Hobgoblin's not.
bad.
Hobgoblin's not.
It is a golden beer, but this is a golden beer with Cascade hops, and it is better.
What does that even mean?
Detox, if you can, get King Goblin by the Wisher Brewery. It is magnificent. It's not as good as like what is that thing that we had before, the Trappist stuff, Arch?
Oh
but
yeah.
it's
Okay. When it
close.
comes to scale of beers, you got Belgian, and then we have others. Belgian beers are on top. There is no discussion about it. Belgian beers are the first one to be labeled as a national treasure by UNESCO. So that's how good they are.
By Belgium.
No, by the UN, like
Yeah.
whatever.
United Nations, something, whatever it's called.
Cultural. It's like a social
Yeah,
cultural
Yeah.
association.
Zombie apocalypse saved the beer.
Save
But not
the Belgian beer. Yeah. not the American pisswada. You know, none of that stuff. All right. So
the beers save the world.
save the
drop
save.
nukes. Nukes on everything, but save the beer.
Save the beer.
Well, I
So-
went kind of the different route. I kind of went for cider instead this today. I normally drink other real ales and stuff, but I was feeling a bit frisky. You know?
cider is been coming back. There's a lot more people I know who have been drinking good ciders, hard ciders. So
I
don't
love
know,
a
it's
great pear cider. Oh my
this
god.
is
You
a,
get
a normal
blasted.
Bulmer's pear cider.
Pears.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's delish. I thought, right,
Now,
try this.
The one thing that I discovered when we had CitizenCon, we had a lot of the UK people like Meyer over. We mentioned that there is a difference between cider and hard cider, and like all ciders are
Right.
hard cider. It's like no, apple juice. We call apple juice is what you guys have as apple juice. We call cider, and then hard cider is actually the alcoholic version of that. So it's slightly different, but you know, without spices and stuff like that. So it's one of those weird little cultural things that I learned from CitizenCon. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
pear cider is actually pretty popular in California. There's actually a couple of different breweries that make pear cider. All right.
Are you guys all going to SitCon this year, or?
I'm driving.
anyone not
I'm
going?
bringing a lot of alcohol, and I'm bringing my
Testahol.
gaming rig, which Testahol and other things. Also, we current is Texas Coles, Meyer, and Roosmash. We're taking a road trip, going to the Nürburgring, going to Belgium for a beer run, and then we're going to Köln for a burger, and then coming back to Frankfurt. So it's going to be a full day. And if
Bloody hell,
anybody
that
wants
sounds
to
good.
join, they need to bring their own car.
I want to go, but it depends on funds. Obviously.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I definitely wanna go.
The flights are cheap. It's the hotels that will cost you, and food that's going to cost you the most.
We're hopefully getting a good deal via Airbnb, just like we did in LA.
Sleep in the car.
Yeah, Airbnb
Fuck
is a good
hotels.
option. Yeah.
Alrighty. So the first question from the chat is: with the announcement of rep ticking down in Star Citizen, do you think this is a good idea, considering rep in Star Citizen is universal progression path with ships and equipment behind a rep barrier? I personally hate the idea of and think it's a big mistake. I think he's talking about how rep will slowly tick down over time if you don't do so. Like if you do work with the UEE, and then you never pick up another job for them again, and like 6 months later you come back, your rep is back at 0.
Oh,
Did they mention the rep will tick down?
I think that's what
Yeah,
Human
they
Evil is
did,
saying.
Yeah, if you don't continue to do a certain job, eventually the NPCs will stop talking about you. You'll become insignificant in that.
That's
that
how
kind
it
of
works in
role
real life, though.
eventually.
Isn't it?
Right.
Exactly.
Like nobody
It's
talks
good, but
about
I mean,
unless you make
it
a
wouldn't go
great
down to
impression.
zero, though, would it? It wouldn't go down to zero. I mean, if you did a
No.
job for somebody, they would still remember who you are and think, "Oh, you did
No.
a good job last time." But I've not
we're
seen
still
you in
talking about
ages.
Elvis,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
been
Well, yeah,
dead forever.
I think.
But we're
Or
not
S,
talking about him now. You know,
or
so.
is he? Anyway, I
Oh,
think
he's
that
dead.
Elvis not dead. He
dead.
just went home.
He's 300 years old now. Fucking dead.
Just go home, baby.
He just
So, I'm not much of a fan of the idea of having your reputation ticking down, because already they mentioned your rep will tick down if you die and your goods go over to your next of kin. I feel like if you can't play the game for a long period of time because of work or something like that, the game should respect your time. Yes, it's an MMO, and yes, you know, like it will reward people who do play, but to take away your reputation, something that is really like that is the leveling system of Star Citizen. For it to tick down like that, I feel it doesn't respect your time. I mean, like it. No, I don't.
think,
How about
it
no, CC
should
though?
be very slow.
Guitar Hero. You know how fast the bar goes up and down? If it takes you, if there's the difference between like your global reputation, but like how people see you at this exact moment. If you could do one fantastic thing really well, and the bar goes whoop. And then while this one's up, this one joins, exactly, just like Guitar Hero. And then you stop. Your main overall rep stays, but your bonus drops.
There
could be another way.
The way I would see it is that it was you should have a bar that you that will always stay the same. You never go below a certain threshold point. Similar to I like referencing other games, but in Life is Feudal, you can never go below a certain threshold point. If you kill someone, you can never go above that threshold point unless you have major like
goodness.
Yeah, like no, you have something absolutely ridiculous happen to you, like you have the Pope bless you or something like that in game. You can't go above that because you're a murderer. But if you had something similar where everyone has a certain threshold in which you can reach, and then that threshold can go down based off of your actions with other groups, but you always reach one that you will never take down from there. Because people remember you, and then as you die, it ticks down. And then also having like a temporary one, like a reputation versus a hype. You know, where, like, you may have reputation with someone, but your hype is up to here because you just stopped a Vandal incursion single-handedly. The UEE is throwing shit at you left and right. Let's say your 15 minutes of fame, but then your 15 minutes of fame go down. People still remember you, but it's not nearly as high. That's both realistic and it helps with game mechanics, because the reason why they're doing the trickling system is that it forces replay. Because if you decide you're going to start with UEE, but then you want to go off and work with the smugglers, and you have a grand old time with the smugglers, it makes sense that your rep will just eventually dwindle. So then if you say, okay, well, now I want to go back to the UEE, well, guess what, son? You're going to have to go back from the very beginning because they don't really know you. And it helps.
As long as they make it in-game ticks, though, not like real world.
Exactly.
So like it pauses when you log out. That's it. It doesn't go any lower. But if you're in the game and you're kind of doing all this stuff, maybe it'll drop down slowly just because you're not doing this stuff like Nubify said, like in real life, it does. You know, your reputation with people will go down, but not to a point of 0 where no one remembers who the hell you are.
And that was the point I was going to make. That was the point I was going to make. The same way with your rented ships and stuff like that. Like, if you're playing the game, if you're playing Star Citizen, but you choose not to do anything, then yes, sure, it can tick down. But if your rep is going to tick down when you're not able to play, then I feel like either there should be more than one thing, so it's optional, like you mentioned, Astra, like a hype thing, as opposed to like a reputation thing. So like your rep is something that grows, and you can become a citizen, rank 1, 2, 3, and your hype thing is something that you can grow. If you overplay the game, you know, you get extra perks, and if you stop, then it'll dwindle down, and then, you know, things will be more expensive again, that kind of thing.
Maybe like a weekly. I know that it's kind of like a sucky theme park kind of thing, but maybe like you could just say, "Oh, look, I'm not gonna be able to put much time into Star Citizen this week, but maybe if I jump in and do this one thing that's gonna give me a massive boost to rep, then
like
that's gonna help
Elite Dangerous does
see over to the next one."
They have community goals, so they have like 3 or 4 different community goals that cover the various range of like types of professions. And if you do that, then you might get some more bonus or something like that. But my concept was like, you have your reputation system, and that at a certain point, it will always stay at that point. You can go above that reputation, go up, that hard reputation go up, but it will always dwindle back down to a certain level. Unless you say,
die. And when you die,
it goes down below. It goes down below that threshold. Or if you're working with, you know, what are they called? The Ninetales pirates in the Stanton system. If you're working with the Ninetales, then your Crusader security rep is just going to start going down because it's swapping. Like your rep is going up while the other is going down.
Mistake.
Yeah. You know what's one thing that I think that would really benefit the entire sort of reputation system in SC is a sort of D&D style of alignment. Like, lawful, neutral, and chaotic, and then you have good, neutral, and evil. So I think that sort of thing like, okay, maybe your reputation would dwindle down, sort of like for people recommending you for different jobs. That sort of thing will start petering away, but everybody will still remember the sort of character that you are, sort of alignment, for instance, for example, that you brought to the mission, for instance. Because I always play chaotic good because I'm a sarcastic motherfucker.
But you're generally a good person. You're just a sarcastic
I'm a
person.
good person. Yeah, I'm just a sarcastic person. Yeah, so
Sure
yeah. Yeah, Meyer would know as good as the native person. Yeah, so that sort of thing, sort of attribute to your character build would remain. So you would still have a sort of preference with a certain sort of job giver when you wouldn't have with another one, even though your reputation would, even if your reputation goes to zero, there will still be a sort of kind of preference for your characters or your play style.
So my main concern, my primary concern, is that look at the general player base of the like the backers right now. Our demographic is people mid-30s, I would say. I mean 30-year-olds, that kind of thing.
Are you calling me old?
Yes, you are ancient.
Well,
anyway,
the actual demographic is between about 25 and 40 is the actual demographic.
Right.
Usually
Not according to YouTube.
We're not all spring chickens, what I'm trying to say, and not many of us have the free time to kind of like grind day in, day out to maintain reputations and stuff like that. And so I'm sure CIG knows this, and they'll respect that, and they'll make the game mechanics accordingly. Otherwise, it's like they're not really kind of catering to their audience.
Well, yeah, but that's what janitors are for in Star Citizen.
I don't think that the original question, the original way that if you stop playing, it's just going to fall to the floor. I don't think that any game developer would put that in the game because people just stop playing. They would say, fuck it, I'm not playing for 6 months. I'm already at the ground. There's no incentive to play. I don't have time for this now. So to answer the question,
has a
no.
mechanic. Even Line has a mechanic where you can just level up your character by not.
Yeah, but
even
you can
being
also
in the game.
pay on EVE Online to give yourself more stuff. So,
I mean, the idea that I think overall I like the idea, but I think I like the idea in the sense that
but not
not
like
to the floor. No,
deadly.
but because the problem is that so many people I know in Elite Dangerous got to the point where they had all the money in the universe, they had every ship they could buy, or the biggest ships with the biggest guns, with the most upgraded. Like, what the fuck do I do now? And that's what Star Citizen's trying to avoid, is that you reach the end game and you go, what now?
Now what?
And so what they're trying to do is forcing you, say, hey, you want to go down this path of being a pirate? You can be a fucking pirate king, but you're not going to be able to be a merchant king as a result. You're going to have to go back and work your way back up from the bottom to become a merchant king. And in the meantime, your pirate king
a grind. They're going to make you have to grind a little bit.
Exactly, and then your pirate king status is going to drop because you have to do that. Whereas in Elite, you can kind of be elite, merchant, exploration, and combat all at once. You can do all three. You can be top three and all
You
those.
can't be a person that fucks people over and then be a leader of a state unless you're Trump. But
Let's keep politics out of here. But yeah, no, that the idea that you can't. There's some things that are just going to be antagonistic to your own progression. And since, like, in many ways, reputation is the progression system in Star Citizen, it is your leveling system. It's the closest thing you're going to have to a leveling system.
Yeah, if your reputation sucked, you're not going to get offered jobs to make money and continue making good money. So, yeah, you will always need to...
Or access to that sweet shop or whatever, that you can go to that shop and be like,
you need to balance. The game is going to be about balancing a bunch of things so that you can be successful in whatever you want to do. And if you want to be a really good pirate, you have to balance all of the hatred and shit that you're going to do to be a good pirate. And if you want to, like you said, if you want to be a pillar of society, well, it's not just going to be, I was a pirate and now I'm not. You have to grind at it. Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how they kind of do all right, you're a good guy, but you want to go spy on the pirates and pretend to be a pirate and do some things and get reputation with a certain pirate organization or something like that, or a certain pirate group, but you're really working for the UEE or something like that. I mean, do you think that's something that that would be?
I don't know how they would code that.
No.
You're talking about undercover cop shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you make your next video that title on the
Oh,
cover?
yeah.
Undercover cop shit.
Yeah. that'd be
3
brilliant.
views. It's gonna get 3 views, I promise you. And one of them's gonna be Ben Lesnick, and it's gonna be a download. Fuck you, Noobifire. Unsubscribe.
Oh my god.
Undercover cop shit. Wow, Noobify has really gone downhill. It's really like
It's really
3 subscribers.
it's gonna be like a chick in a cop's uniform with like tits showing as the as the thumbnail. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good.
That's another question that was brought up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later because I want to get through all
That
of
was
Human
a
Evil
very
7.
long first question.
But it was a good question. I think it's a good
Yeah.
it's a good
It
important
is
to
a very
talk
good
about.
question. And
Yeah.
sorry,
Okay.
there's something I wanted to quickly mention. How
Longer.
will they do it
Not over
between
yet.
players?
What's that?
Can you get like a reputation system between players? Because obviously players can offer contracts. So if you
Yeah.
take a contract from
What they've said is they're going to do like a how they do like a rating system. So if like you work with somebody else, they will give you a rating, and you can give them a rating. So if everyone gives you shitty ratings, then everyone's going to know you're a shitty rater. But
Like
they can
eBay.
Oh,
contract.
right, yeah. I know the rating. Yeah, well, I'll let you move on. I know the rating system. I was referring to something else, but we'll move on.
Like a reputation system itself for between.
With players, yeah. So
Yeah,
if you're working for a piratey player, you're going to get piratey.
And of course, you
reputation
could
from him.
you control that, and you could stat pad that, and get your own guys to to fuck with your balance.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a lot of possible brokenness with that, which is why I'm saying, we'll see. I'm very curious to see how that is put out.
Yeah, no, and I think the reputation between players will be just average reputation. It won't be actually like a statistic or anything like that. And I think the rating system is going to be one of those things that people use. It's like I'll know that Noobifire is running that sweet mercenary org, so I can trust Noobifire to protect my goods. I know that Meyer's part of
Hey, mate.
tests, and so I can trust them to get drunk and blow shit up. So like that's if I want a job with like, hey, I want you to get swasty and crash this ship into this space station, I know tests are the people to go to. But I'm not going to get enemy contact to get drunk and crash it into space stations, and I'm not going to get tests to do actual combat work because both of those are
Speaking of
bad
tests, can we talk
situations.
about how? Speaking of tests, can we talk about how good the new Aurora looks?
The new Aurora is sexy. It is
Someone asked
sexy
a
and it's
question.
black.
It's sleek.
Yeah, but it's amazing how much they didn't even have to remodel it. They just had to change the shading and the textures. I think they would have gotten away with it. It'd be just fine.
All right, so I'm going to move along because we've got a lot of questions now suddenly piling up. Human Evil asked 5 more questions, 2 of which are about the rep system. So we're going to go down to the next one he asked. He's the only I think we already covered. He said, "Do you think trickling down rep will force people into doing one thing and one thing only?" And we kind of covered that. The next one is, am I the only person who refuses to watch Happy Hour out of principle of them changing from RTV?
Yes.
Principle.
Yes, you
Watch it.
You
Watch
are
it.
the
You're
only one, yeah.
you're fucking.
It's the
if
same.
You don't watch it.
It's the same thing. It literally is the same thing. Only you have
Yep.
a streamer for about 5-10 minutes who talks about their stream and they play a game, and that's it. It's really the same concept. It's instead of
actually
talking about
it's
Star
even
Wars
better.
figurines,
It's even better because they have actual developers on the show and they take questions from chat and the questions from the
from
streamer.
Twitch chat. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who's in Twitch knows you don't take questions from Twitch chat. I'm just stupid, so that's why I take questions from chat. But you just don't,
But
especially
then
with their size.
you did just get a sub button, so you're doing something right.
Or I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. I got something. I did. Took a sub button. I don't know if this means I'm doing anything right.
They just like what you
I
got.
subbed
You're
you.
doing fewer things wrong.
Yeah, fewer things wrong. No, but yeah, no, it's a great format. You should really just check it out because even if you only watch the parts where they have the watch the replays and watch the part where they do the questions. Because they do a pretty good job, and it's the only
Yeah.
time you can hear Sean Tracy be sarcastic and see the fear, the pure fear in the eyes of Disco Lando and Captain Zylo, when he said, "Yep, it's canceled. 3.0 is canceled," and everyone they lost their shit. It was like, yes,
Chat blew up. It was
Yeah.
like, no, it's not real. It's not real. It's like, what? No, we confirmed.
tell me you're joking. Tell me you're joking. Tell me you're joking. Tell me you're joking. It's like, of course I'm joking. It's like,
I think they should do quantum questions on that show. That would be amazing. It really is that. the amount of slippage of information that shouldn't be released that would probably come out of that would be quite a lot, I think.
All right, the next question.
I want to get Sean Tracy on the Fortnite Frontier podcast and just have him speak for like 3 hours straight.
I'm still am convinced. You want to get Sean Tracy,
Tony,
and Brian. Just put them in a room, lock the door with a live streaming camera.
Oh my god, that would be. Yeah, but none of the work would actually get done.
They would explode. They would just, antimatter just
reinforce the walls.
Yeah.
We would learn everything about Star Citizen in a fairly short time. Hey, Kitty.
Confirm.
Drop your
No
drop
banner
your
around,
gray Lolas in chat. All your gray Lolas in chat.
Immersion wrecked. Space cats.
Let her in. She was attacking the door, and I was afraid it was going to disturb the podcast. So I had to let her in.
It's okay. We like cats. It's the internet.
Don't.
That's because Darge is inhuman. That's okay. Yeah.
I'm chaotic good. We don't like cats.
Even
Even though
fair
cats are sort of
I
chaotic
understand.
good, but it's like two positive magnets. They just don't match.
they don't mesh.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Human Evil asks, what do you think the role of the Anvil Hurricane will be? Starter fighter? Wasn't it?
Starter fighter.
Gladius.
No, we already have a good starter as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's going to be like a mini Hornet. I mean, that's what it is. Like a Hornet
Oh, is
is.
it?
Well, no, it was part of the original lineup for the starters. It was the
So
the
like
voting.
a Gladius, yeah.
Kind of like a Gladius, but where the Gladius is more of a nimble and speed. Like this, I'm guessing is going to be tanky. It's just going to be. It's going to be tanky and robust with weapons, but it'll be slow and not movable at all.
So a Buccaneer.
No, because Buccaneer's fast. Buccaneer's going to be fast in
Yeah,
straight lines.
fast.
So, yeah.
As much as this game is meant to be like super immersive, it's still a game, and so I feel like within space combat there needs to be certain roles. I mean, like maybe not Holy Trinity kind of like cliche, tank healer and DPS, but I feel like there'll be some ships that kind of like cater to that kind of thing. So with a tanky ship, you're probably looking at something that has like maybe some things that make it more annoying and need to be attacked first and destroyed first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking.
What sort of ship are you thinking about when you're talking about healer?
Well, I mean, like they haven't really.
Debuffer, a buffer or debuffer.
Yeah.
So like
yeah, probably, but yeah.
like a herald would be a good example of that. Like something that would be like e-warfare, something that's not
Eeyore, exactly. Yeah.
that would
yeah.
Yeah, no, but there's no ship that actually heals you. So
no, but I
In
mean
ED, they have one, and we have repaired drones. So I mean, there's not a long shot to say that there might be a module for a ship that can basically target your friends and heal them. I mean, it's not a long shot. It's kind of naff, I guess, and I don't think it fits in the universe too well, but it's an idea.
well, especially in a fast-paced dogfight, I think the drones will have trouble keeping up. But yeah,
Yeah.
you would actually have to remove the ship from the combat to get it repaired.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
there's going to be a magical healer like ship flying behind with a beam fixing your
No.
shield.
no.
It's in most other space games. It's in
Was it
Star Trek
Team-
Online. It's in Elite
Team
Dangerous,
Fortress?
but I don't think it.
Was
yeah.
Medic online.
Yeah.
Medic.
I do think though that it's going to be more of a starter tank, as it were. Like it's gonna be
Right, yeah.
it's gonna be a baby Hornet. It's gonna be and it'll probably look a lot like the Hornet but smaller.
I've got
Yeah.
a question for you though, Astro. I mean, in terms of tank ships, how
like
do
a
you
turret.
expect? How do you think a tank ship should work in Star Citizen? Because for a tank to be
Tracks and a
effective,
turret.
Yeah. a tank ship. Like let's look at the Hornet as a good example. The Super Hornet is a great tank ship because if you don't
Right.
pay attention to the Super Hornet, it will destroy you because it's got a lot of weapons. in it.
Right.
However, it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to avoid the tank ship if you're fast and maneuverable.
Yeah.
But
I think. Yeah. Sorry.
we need to have a little bit more emphasis on maneuverability and speed as possible, like ways to counter those kind of things. But that's more of an issue of like how are we going to do this in the long term? How everything's going to balance out with each other?
yeah.
And I think they have a general idea going forward, which is why we've seen these ships. Like there's the Trinity balance that I've seen so far, how CIG goes for it is pure combat, mixed role, pure non-combat. And the pure non-combat doesn't mean necessarily like they don't do combat, but it means that they're not as effective. And the
So
best, the best like example of that is the Vanguard, the New Cutlass, and the Freelancer. They're all pretty much the same size. They have about the same kind of stats in terms of their like how many crew members they have. However, the Vanguard is a pure combat, the Cutlass is a mixed combat, and the Freelancer is pure non-combat to a degree.
So my own is that for a tank role to be effective in an MMO, the tank needs to be the one that people want to attack. In PvE, it's really easy. You have threat. In PvP, many different games have tried different ways of going around it to make that tank useful in PvP. One that I think of is Warhammer Age of Reckoning, in which the tanks actually had something where... So with the tank in Warhammer Age of Reckoning, the tank doesn't really have that much DPS. However, if the tank focuses on somebody and that other person doesn't attack the tank, then the tank's damage slowly like increases and increases and increases. And so that would kind of like make the tank you need to destroy the tank, otherwise it's going to be the one smashing things more than DPS. My question to you, Astra, was just like, how do you think they would implement something like that into Star Citizen? I mean, if they will at all, you know, if we want these roles.
And when I don't think we necessarily want these roles, but with and how they. It's the issue of aerial combat even today, which is do you want a turn and burn fighter or do you want a boom and zoom, you know?
Right.
And you breaking those up into the third one, which is like if you look at World War II aircraft, which is a lot of the stuff is based off of, the Hornet is like the P-47. You know, it's a big, tough, designed to literally take mountains of bullets and cannon fire and still keep going.
A-10.
Right.
You know, yeah. Well, A-10's not a fighter, though. I mean, like
tell that to the people that are dying.
Wow.
It's not an aerial combat fighter. It's designed as a ground support. And P-47 was originally designed as a fighter.
But it's a tank. You can call it a tank.
Yeah, and
the guy's protected with a titanium tub and armored, and he can fly home with half of the shit missing.
And the A-10 is it's called its official name is something 2, like the Thunder.
Warthog?
No, that's its unofficial name. Its unofficial name is like Thunderbird 2 or something like that. And I think the P-47 was the originally named the Thunderbird, the first one.
Okay.
And it's actually the direct descendant of the P-47. It's the A-10. And so the P-47 was originally designed as a fighter and used for a lot of ground support, but it's got it's built the same way, versus something like a P-51, which is a lot more maneuverable. It doesn't have nearly as much firepower, but it's maneuverable and fast and has long range. So those
Thunderbolt
kind of
2.
Yeah,
you got it right.
Thank you.
Thunderbolt 2.
Thunderbolt. Thank you. So that kind of balancing where you have safety, firepower, speed, or maneuverability. Pick 3, kind of thing, or firepower, maneuverability, and defensibility. Pick two, kind of thing. That's the kind of idea that I see them balancing for. So I can see the Hurricane and similar ships with it, the tank ships, being protection and firepower, not maneuverable at all. Whereas I can see DPS being firepower, maneuverability, no protection. And then the third class of ship being maneuverability and protection with no firepower, being things like racer ships and generally speaking, what are they? Drake. The Drake lines of ships. But, yeah. So, moving on. I'm going to have to re-roll this. Sorry about that. Stasis guy's offline. Darsh. Do you want to win, Darsh?
Sure.
Okay. Congratulations,
Can
Darsh.
I have a Darsh? Thank you, Darsh. Bye, Darsh.
Talk to Noob. You just won a HCS voice pack and voice attack.
Oh, cool.
Oh, snap.
I don't have that yet.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Which voice pack?
Which
That's
one do you
your
want?
choice.
Oh, can I have? Oh,
Get the KSI one.
DM me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I will.
KSI?
I will. Discord
Yeah,
or
KSI
Twitch?
has one.
Your choice. Next question.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Woo! I am winner.
It's totally rigged, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad, Urban Gilly. I meant to say reset and I hit draw winner. My bad. We're gonna go it again because we've got one more copy, so we're gonna give that away. So, anyways, moving on. The next question, because we've got a ton more questions. We tend to get to stuff. With the news that CIG are still building tools for their new mission generating system, do you think we'll push back release? Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Not next year, but probably to the end of the year. most people don't think that 3.0 is coming out anytime soon. So, last
Because of the
question.
company excluded.
Well, I mean, are you planning? Do you think it's coming out in the next 2 months?
No.
No. So, like, I don't think anyone's sitting here going, "Hey, this is going to come out."
I
soon.
think knowing CGI timeline, I think the terms of near future and far future have changed over time. So
Next question comes from Blank. Would the Reclaimer be able to land on planets or stations? I believe it is.
The thing's a city. Like,
It may
no.
not be able to.
Why would you want to? Why would you want to park that thing on a planet?
Well, no, because they said that the Reclaimer is actually smaller than a Idris, and an Idris can land on a planet.
Okay.
yes, but the Reclaimer doesn't, at least from the current concept that we've seen, doesn't look like it would actually support any sort of.
No.
We have seen it landed on a
Planetary.
planet before, though. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. We saw in the whole
Ships Expo thing.
yeah Top Gear thing thing.
Okay.
We saw a Reclaimer landed. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think everything below sub Idris and below can land, and I think even technically the Javelin can land too.
It's gonna be
the
one hell of
Javelin
a
can crash,
patch.
at
Yeah.
least.
My God.
But yeah, no, it's going to require some very specialized. Like, I don't think you're landing those things in like small cities. You're gonna have to like park that outside the town and then travel your ass back there. You know.
Landing pad 2, please go ahead.
Yeah.
You know.
Landing pad 1 through 5.
Yeah, all of them.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, city block. New York. Landed on New York.
Next question
Not that
does Shady Phase asks, does the panel believe that player orgs companies will be able to have uniforms or armor with org company logos and colors? Example, Blue Sun's Eclipse merch
Yeah.
from Mass Effect. Yeah, they've even said that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Top Happy said he'd
And
like
so-
that.
They like that, and and generally speaking, how they work is, if they like it, they're gonna do their best to implement it. And
They're
there's
gonna
really
put a ring on it.
there's literally nothing that stops them from doing it. There's nothing like technologically speaking, because it's in a lot of
No.
other games, and they've even showed off the color systems, and the color systems that work for the outer side of ships will work for clothing too. So
Why not? Yeah.
Okay, an offshoot of that question is naming your own ship or actually putting custom decals on your ship.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
already. They've already said you could do that.
yeah,
I don't
Custom
see why
de-
not. It seems
custom
like really
decals.
easy.
No,
Yes.
but,
Yeah.
the name and
not
registration
org,
makes sense.
not org.
You can't
Not
make it
org.
like a dick across it. It would have to be vetted, right?
Yeah, well,
Because it's
yeah,
going to
I
go
know.
through a vetting process.
Yeah.
But they've already, like in 2013, they already said on 10 for the chair that was a thing.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
talked
but
that
that
you
was
would be
4
able to-
years ago. I mean, even though this official news is still very old.
I know,
Yeah.
but how it's not an uncommon. It's not like saying, "Could we land on the sun?" It's not like we're asking for something crazy. We're asking for a little patch to be stuck on the side of a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's
No,
totally
because
fine.
I have
Shouldn't
for
be
my
too hard.
Carrack, I have the name picked out and I have a logo for it. And
I
even
guarantee.
if it's something that if you wanted to have your own logo on it, if it was a paid service,
Yeah, no, I
that
can.
would be for it.
I think
100%.
Yeah, I think, well, we're going to have to register the ship's names anyways, because they're all going to have a registration and all that kind of stuff. So the names and putting your name on the side of the ship will just require, like, even now, I think most boats in the world have a standardized naval font that they use for ships, so that everyone
Yeah.
can read it, and no matter which country you're from, no matter what, you always have the name written in the same format. So it would make sense to have that same format, and you could write the name of the side on the side of your ship if you want, or you may have to, or at least have a registration number somewhere like planes do. So
I think-
it makes
yeah.
sense.
That would be super easy to do because
registration numbers, it's easy because I'm talking from a technological point of view, because if you have a ship and then you have a listing in its XML file, name equals the game can render it procedurally. But if you have your own decal, that means having a
No.
specific texture.
They did it in Battlefield like 5 years ago on Battlelog. You go in, there's a simple editor, and you give it to that, and then that is rendered on your gun and on your tank. So
Oh, okay.
that is not even
And other people
remotely
can see it.
difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna keep my hopes up.
Yeah, now,
Yeah,
now,
it's
now in
super
terms-
easy to do.
In terms of custom like icons, that may be a little bit more complicated. But again, that's something. It's an easy way of making money post launch. Is be like, hey, pay us money. and you can put up
Counter-Strike.
stuff like that.
Counter-Strike, you could go up to the wall. The original
Spray,
Counter-Strike.
spray paint. Yeah, spray paint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It still
yeah.
exists. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
of
if
course.
that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but that's also
Yeah.
Counter Strike is also
I
a
know, but
game
it's
of
not
like
an MMO.
yeah. So that's the issue. Is that eventually you're going to have so many different like
I'm
images
sure
and stuff
though
like that.
that the users will be able to go to some person's account and say this offends me, right?
Oh, yeah,
It's going to have to be a happy
Yeah.
face or something. You're not going to have some guy running around with whatever he wants on there because that'll just be
Yeah.
Pussy
pretty offensive. Like something that you own
No,
not.
something
I
that
know
can
better.
be banned from
First character
Twitch. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The first character I make is going to be named Turd Ferguson.
It's
Of course.
already done.
It's already done.
I've got one in my org.
Damn it.
I have one in my org. Like it's done.
Turd Ferguson.
All right. Next
Right,
question. Sorry.
Sorry.
You have to say something, Meyer?
It's cool. It's irrelevant. I mean, it's already been said.
Okay.
Go ahead, go ahead.
As is tradition, not GHG asks, isn't all the servers linked? Won't we won't be segregated, right? And the answer, I think, to that is we don't know. It sounds like we're going to be segregated for at least for Star Marine and Arena Commander, from what they said.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that, but I wouldn't mind the option to change or choose.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah.
the main universe, I don't.
Analyzing
I think, yeah.
the newsletter, they said that when you start up the game, you will be able to choose the region you're playing.
Yeah,
in.
they
You
did
won't
say
be-
that, yeah.
You won't be IP locked to
Mhm.
a region without your say so.
Right.
Mm.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
but whether or not that's going to be for the PU or just for Arena Commander and Star Marine, it'd be nice.
It's
To see how it
remains to be
goes,
seen.
yeah.
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 We're gonna see very soon, right? Like 2.6.1.
Well, which is the next 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's-
looking at the production schedule, there's been 2 updates, and the ETA for release hasn't changed. It's still the 16th February.
Yeah, and it sounds like, and I was talking with
That's like in 2 weeks.
with a couple of
Yep.
the developers at
That's-
PAX
that is-
South. I was talking with the developers at PAX South, and out of not even an NDA kind of a format, they were just like, yeah, well, we fixed this. Really, the big thing that we're worried about right now is UI. So I mean that shows that in the big thing they've been working on is the UI stuff, and it's how they've
Look at the
worked.
schedule report. It's the only thing holding them back. Everything else has been done. The netcode, the graphics, the Hornet update, the Super Hornet update.
They even have
everything else has
the
been
new
done.
servers, that they weren't planning on having. So hopefully the real question is, does that mean that the mega map is in with 2.6.1
Yes, for single
that's
player.
already done. They've already
Single
said that.
player.
That's, yeah.
single player?
Single player mega map. I think going from your hangar to free flight and stuff like that.
Okay.
that's gonna be-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And if it's actually taken off from your hangar going out the door, I'm going to masturbate live on webcam.
Go to Chatterbait. Look for
Yeah.
Darsh.
Uh,
All right. Next,
Isn't there an emote for that?
there's a couple of lewd emotes for that.
There it is.
Next question comes from Chief Gully. For all cast, what's the most exciting part about 3.0 for you personally? So this is where I mix it up. Raph, tell me what's your most exciting part about 3.0 personally.
Cargo. It has to be.
Cargo?
Probably an obvious thing. Yeah, it's probably an obvious thing, but I'm really looking forward to doing non-combat-y stuff. Because right now there's a lot of combat-orientated things. No matter where you go, like the Comarays, the ICC probe missions, you're gonna come across pirates, right? So I'm not saying you're not gonna come across pirates doing the cargo runs. It's just that it's just nice to do something different. The main focus on getting the cargo and taking it to its destination and all that kind of stuff really excites me. So I'm really looking forward to that.
All right, next person. Let's see. Let's mix it up. Darsh.
The first thing I want to do is find a planet that's mixed land and ocean. Land on it and sit on the beach and wait for the sunset.
That's a good one.
That's good.
Beautiful.
How about you,
You're not
Detox?
going to find a space chick to do it with, or?
Well, hopefully 3.0 will also bring female models
Female
in, so I'll
characters.
just load up my second account and
Dual box it. Dual box it.
multi-box hand holding.
Yeah.
And hold each other's hand on the
Well,
sun.
you know,
I
since-
can't
since
tell
I've
that
already-
that's-
Since I already said I'll be masturbating in 2.6.1. I think the logical next step.
Oh God. How about you, Detox? What are you looking for?
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the same as Mighty Wrath Cargo because of all the emergent gameplay that it opens up. Because I'm going to be a mercenary anyway, so protecting cargo runs and things is going to be my thing. But also planetary landings. I'm really looking forward to planetary landings. And yeah, I'm not so much about the sunsets and things, but just
I'm a romantic.
He is a
so-
romantic.
yeah, you definitely are. I can tell with the book and everything. Definitely romantic.
Yeah,
Imagine you reading poems.
chaotic,
as
good
the sun.
romantic. Yeah, sarcastic
Yeah,
romantic.
So
How about you, Meyer?
it's just
Oh, sorry.
planetary. No,
Something
planetary
not
landings
lame.
and cargo.
Something not lame.
Oh, snap.
Drop the mic.
Like personally, I don't have that many ships, especially multi-crew ships, because I feel like a lot of people already have that kind of stuff. So for me, I want to be the person that's gonna be in the highest demand, and that's somebody that people want doing, you know, like the engineering stuff in their ships and stuff like that. So for me, multi-crew is the game. I mean, like, and I want to do that. I also want to do racing. So the first thing I want to do is kind of just like be someone's crewman, you know, someone's wash or someone's what's her name again?
Kaylee.
Kaylee, exactly. I want to be Kaylee. Kaylee, yeah. But I'll be a dude, but you can call me Kaylee. Yeah. That's
That
me.
works.
Kaylee.
You can call me
Kaylee the
Kaylee.
dude.
Great,
Yep.
gray-headed gamer is losing his mind right now. I know that.
How about you, noob?
Atmospheric dogfighting.
Atmospheric dogfighting.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. Gladius
Yeah.
on Gladius. Mano a mano.
Hot.
A2 Brute.
It'd be interesting to see what sort of difference a streamlined or aerodynamic ship.
Right.
from
Well,
each
there's
is,
going to be a
from
lot of
everything.
crashing into planets too.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Until you get it right.
What sort of upper hand they'll have versus like brick, like an Aurora.
Well, okay, so the way I look at this is gravity. In space, you have inertia, but you don't have gravity. So you could technically take a Car-2L. Obviously, it has enough thrust to leave Earth's orbit, right? But you have gravity, so you may black out. So someone who is able to fly like a plane may get that bonus of not having to deal with blacking out. Anyways, tangent, that's what I want to do. I want to kill people in atmosphere.
I personally am looking forward to item 2.0. I think having the full item 2.0 in, meaning being able to lock ships, have multi-crew ships, you know, like with meaningful roles, being able to customize armor pieces and like weapons sections and all that kind of stuff. So I can like put a scope on my rifle if I wanted to, all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Put a magazine on your scope like we already have now.
Yes. Just slap
Or a
the
medipen
magazine.
in front of your or a medipen in front of your barrel.
I'm
How
just
the fuck am I
just a
supposed to
Medipen
see
in my
this
hand.
thing?
Just stick it there the entire time and run around. That's what I love that.
Yeah.
No, but
I think when it fixes that, I think just a few people are going to, demand that they have the ability to stick a medipen inside their hand just for the memory
Nostalgia.
of the good old days.
Nostalgia.
immersion.
I
That's just-
want a in-hanger holotable. I want it to be a piece of hanger flare, and it says broken, right, or something like
Yeah,
just like a danger tag on it.
An out of order sign.
Yeah,
just flapping
yeah.
in
or
the
like
breeze.
a plaque
Exactly.
on it saying, in memory or whatever.
And all the new guys would be like, "What the hell is that piece of shit?" You're like, "Don't even touch it.
You don't talk
I
about
want to
fucking
replace me
stuff.
tomato in my
That's
room
my
as a hanger
holotape.
flare.
I earned that table."
Yeah, it's like when you have a Game Boy right now. I mean, it's completely useless because you can have all this technology on a smartphone, and even better, but you still have a Game Boy that's just collecting dust on your desk somewhere. It's something like that. It's nostalgia. It's a good thing.
Right.
Alrighty, next question comes from SC Viking X. In all honesty, do you guys think 3.0 will be released this year? And what are your predictions in in the month? Or do you think we'll have this just have this in small patches? To me, it seems like we're going full throttle at one time and then slow things down with small patches.
If you want to answer this question, rewind about half an hour.
Yeah, we actually talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we talked in depth about that one.
Next question comes from: is there anything testing Spectrum and anyone testing Spectrum PTU right now? Are there other new features in current PTU? No, it's pretty much what they
No
would.
PT.
It's just Spectrum, and it's not as good as people want it to be.
Yet.
Unfortunately.
Yet.
What do you mean Discord?
Hopefully yet.
I can see its
Shots fired.
potential. Yeah, I can see its potential, but it's not quite there yet.
No, I mean, no, it's, and I've been a big naysayer when it comes to Spectrum because I feel like they're doing it because they think it's cool, which is, not a bad thing. But at the same time, it's like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Why don't you just be like, hey, let's integrate Discord into Spectrum and then just use that? And there's some more complicated issues.
Because it's a big unknown, because they don't know where Discord is going to go in regards to sort of copyrights or just
even existing in 10 years.
And talk to them
in
about it.
in a few months. I mean, they could engineer an entire ecosystem around Discord, and then like 6 months from now, they just drop from the face of the earth. And what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to rush to replace it, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great once to get the voiceover IP in, and especially when that comes into game as well. That had a whole other layer, I think, as well.
And that's something that's... Sorry, I thought you finished.
Yeah, go on.
No, that's going to say that's what Spectrum is about.
That's what Spectrum is, yeah. And that's why we're talking about it. Is that like right now, Spectrum's not all that impressive because it's just the forums and Discord put together.
Yeah.
And without it's actually more like Curse and Discord or Curse and forums put together because there's no voiceover yet.
Curse,
Yeah.
Forgot about that
It's
one.
just chats, basically.
Next question is survival mechanics when necessary.
No.
And do you think it should be added?
What?
Sure.
Go watch
Survival mechanics.
Go watch my video.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really arrogant, but I did like a 8-minute video from left to right to arc,
good.
like to right of arc, talking all about how that could play out. And I think it should play out that there is when it's needed. If you're on a capital ship, you shouldn't have to worry about it because the toilet's right there and the kitchen's right there, and you don't want to have to get up out of your chair flying your javelin in a fight just to go get a sandwich.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't make any sense.
Go
But if
watch
you're
this
stuck on a
video.
planet, if you're stuck on a planet,
Have a
then you should
butler
be
that
worried
delivers
about
you
food.
sandwich on a silver plate.
Sandwich.
The sandwich button. I mean, the heavy would
Or-
disagree with you on having a sandwich in the middle of better.
A person in my
Sandwich.
comments said it would be cool if you were the captain of that ship and some guy brings you a sandwich. I'm like, no, we don't need
Sandwich
that
drones.
level. I know, like, do we really need a person, a sandwich steward? No.
So
I think the answer is: does it add content? Does it add meaningful gameplay to the game?
Right.
And the answer is
When it's
generally
necessary.
when it's necessary. And the
No.
answer is
Yeah.
no.
We don't want Star Citizen to be just another one of those survival games where you have
No.
to manage every aspect of your person just to survive.
I love survival games. I'm hyped as shit for Hellion, but it's not Star Citizen. Like, you know.
So
No, there's too much.
If it's role played, I
bigger
think
stuff
it'd
going on
be
in Star
nice.
Citizen.
I feel like common
there-
miss.
Okay, let's go
You
with
should be able
Detox,
to-
then Meyer, then Darsh. Detox.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just I think Star Citizen's bigger than that. It's bigger than making a sandwich for your captain. You know.
Yeah.
Now,
Chopping wood.
should you be able to make a sandwich for your captain?
If you want
course.
to.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, role-play
Some people want
purposes.
that.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Star Wars, I always mention Star Wars Galaxies. Damn it, I can't stop mentioning that game because I love it. But, they gave you a lot of tools that were completely separate from gameplay, but you could use them for roleplay, and things like that could definitely work in Star Citizen. I think, in my opinion,
All right, now
like fireworks and things. They gave you all kinds of tools to play with as role players, and I role played the shit out of that game. So.
Yeah. If it's role played, I think it'd be nice just to role play it. If it's not like an actual game mechanic, but you don't need to do it,
As
but you
the-
can role
Exactly,
play
yeah.
doing it.
as the owner of a space bar in the in Star Citizen universe, I approve of this. I want people to show up to my bar just to get drunk in game.
exactly, yeah.
Whatever. Meyer.
So, first of all, I mean, I think it's a common misconception that survival mechanics just mean food and water and stuff like that. In the in the space of Star Citizen, it's not just that. Sure, it could mean that, but it also means things like oxygen. Having to manage your oxygen and your fuel for EVA. These are also survival mechanics for a game like Star Citizen. And
That is true.
those things specifically, yes, I would like those to come in. I mean, like, screw food and hunger for now. That's not important to the gameplay. But if you're in Port Olisar and you're going to your ship, I feel like, yeah, maybe there should be like an oxygen meter telling you how much longer you have to get to your ship, because that's immersive and that's part of the game and that's necessary.
Yeah, no, but the difference between like say that and food and hunger is that oxygen is you can actually has a measurable effect. You can see how much oxygen you start out with and end with. And same with AVA fuel. As much as you use it, it goes down. Whereas with food and hunger, it's so arbitrary, and often in survival games, it has to do with how active you are, or just time based, or they just usually just ramp up the hunger and food to unrealistic levels just to force you to constantly eat and drink, so that you has an additional thing for you to do to add more complexity to the game.
Yeah, that sucks. That's not fun, honestly. I mean, it's fun in a survival game. Like Conan is great. But I don't want to have to always be, oh my god, I moved half a meter and now I need to eat another sandwich. Right? It doesn't make sense. Or I ran. I'm in the middle
of a firefight. I really need to drink some water. Like right now, I'm dying of thirst.
Rudimentary, automatic when it's not needed.
Yeah, I have an idea. Okay, all these things that you need to do to survive as a living organism on a planet should be optional, like sleeping, eating, taking a shit, keeping hydrated and stuff like that. But as soon as you add in sci-fi elements like oxygen in a vacuum or EVA fuel for your jetpack or spacesuit and stuff like that, that becomes something that you do need to take care of.
Yeah, to reiterate, the thing is,
and
that
then again,
the term...
hold on. Yeah, I will let you finish, but
hold up, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yes. Like I just wanted to mention that, for instance, like in Duke Nukem 3D, you could go up to a urinal and take a piss. But that wasn't a game. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like an endless stream of piss from just from a third dimension or fourth dimension or sixth dimension or somewhere. But it wasn't a game mechanic that you needed to take a piss in the middle of fighting a boss. Otherwise, your bladder would explode.
Why not? Why not wet yourself while fighting a boss?
I need to piss off
Now that would be a very funny firefight if you're in the middle of a firefight and you're like, I gotta relieve myself. What? I'm just gonna let out piss right here.
Give me a minute.
Countermeasures.
Yeah. That's one way of getting someone to stop fighting you right away. Pee all over their general direction. I don't want anything to do with this guy. He's fucking insane.
But yeah, to reiterate, I mean, like, survival mechanics is a very ubiquitous term. It covers so many different things, and so things like Dodge said, planetary things like eating and stuff like that, not necessary. But things like oxygen, yes, air. Temperature, even, why not? They show air, exactly. Yeah. They showed us that explorer's suit, so radiation and stuff like that. All those things should come in,
and that's
relatively
fun because
soon.
You have to plan. You have to know that planet will kill you if you don't bring a Spock suit from that second to last movie.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah,
Spock suit. The gloves do this and nothing else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then it would become a bit tedious if you needed to bring a packed lunch as well.
Yeah. No, and I think they
suck if he met a space chick on the planet as well, wouldn't he? He's like, baby, all I got is these.
No, but is this scissoring on Vulcan?
I wouldn't.
Dear God.
Oh God.
My hand to your hand.
Welcome to welcome to Captain's Table, where Star Citizen is simply just a generic idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm so red right now.
As Board Gamer has famously quoted, the Captain's Table is Captain's Table. We don't know shit.
Captain's kitchen table.
Yeah.
We make sandwiches and don't know shit. Next time I'm on, I'm definitely bringing a sandwich.
A sandwich just to eat it on stream. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of a book, my prop next time is going to be a big, like a submarine sandwich.
A hoagie.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to try to get through these pretty quickly. This next question, we're just going to go rapid fire these ones. From Mouse number 4, pretend you are CIG right now. What's the number one thing the game development of it or the developers themselves that you would change that has not been changed yet?
Oh, the flashing warning light on the missile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No,
Yeah.
I would say more communication, but that's just me. Just me be like,
Yep.
hey, this is like, you want to know what's going on? We don't know where 3.0 is because it's in 14 different pieces, and we haven't really come back together and thought about that yet. But we'll get back to you, you know, kind of thing. Just being more open about that. That's what I would say. 'Cause-
Yeah, even if it's completely inaccurate, I would like a big growth plan for the entire game, with some dates, with a big asterisk saying these dates will
will
change.
be missed. Like we,
Oh,
Yeah,
just
will
so
be
you
missed,
know,
but just
so you
give
see
us
all of the
some-
pieces that,
Mhm.
that they've identified, even the stuff that we don't know is coming.
the problem
And
about
it
that
could
is the problem is that it requires them to actually say, okay, these are the pieces we want, and not change it halfway through. Because that's
Yeah.
why we get procedural landing, is because originally it wasn't planned at all until much later, and then they're like, we got it now, so why not do it? So
Yeah, but in the first place, it was like CitizenCon 15 or something, or 14.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul, did you just go take a line of cocaine or something?
Welcome to the Astropub.
we party
Yeah.
in here. Yeah.
Yeah. The landing procedure on that was like completely different from what we have right now. I mean, it was like
They literally hit a cutscene in the middle of
Yeah.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
hit a loading screen and a cutscene.
things
You know.
change so much that I think that's what they're afraid of when in regards to promising features and functions.
Well, it's not a
for
promise,
the-
and that's another problem. Is that people think that that's set in stone, even though everyone says it's a guide, it's a yardstick. These
Yeah.
are not the dates.
So-
They're
so-
what we
Yeah.
think
Well,
are
so-
the dates.
So I think that's would be the one thing I
Thing
would do
wasn't.
is I would actually sit down and say these need to come out in this order and we need to get this
Yep.
done, because right
I like
now
that.
it's still too fluctuate. It's too like, oh well, this idea is a little bit better. It's like, yeah, that's great. It's a little bit better, but if it's going to add an additional 4 years to the development of the base game,
It's not worth it,
it's
yeah.
not worth it. Like you need to get it out to a point where it's a reasonable release, because at that point then you can start adding things. I think the one thing that Elite Dangerous has proven with its sudden resurge in popularity is their approach worked very well, which was get the base game out and then add things along the way. Star Citizen's original idea was let's get the base game out with the base mechanics and then we'll add in more features along the way.
Content.
But with content. But we have
Yeah.
the base mechanics don't change. Elite's was let's get the base thing that everybody wants, and then we'll add more base features along the way as we go along for extra money.
Yeah,
And-
I'm not sure I like that though.
I like the problem is that somewhere along the way, the base content features for Star Citizen, including base building, survival mechanics, and procedural landing, which was never one of those original ideas as an initial base features. Those were always add-on laters, and now they're suddenly becoming base features. So at a certain point,
Requirement.
a certain point, you got to go, what do you actually need this part? And you know, sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no. Like with procedural landing, it changes so much about the game that you do need it. Like you do need that to happen. But with survival mechanics, is that a required thing? Not really. I'll be right back. Yeah, go for it. But just that kind of
Just
stuff.
like in Duke Nukem 3D, my bladder is about to explode.
Don't do it on stream, please.
Yeah, don't stream on stream.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else have like? Do you have any other like what you change or do differently about it? Then again, you know, I'm also an armchair developer. I've never developed a game in my life, so I have no idea like the details involved with everything. So
It's hard to say because, like you say, I'm not a developer, so I don't even understand the complexity of what they've done. I'd like to think I know, right? I can read about it, I can watch videos, and then think, and then make my own videos. But that doesn't mean that I have a real understanding of every single facet of game development. So it sucks. I can't say personally. I could basically say right now it would be really neat if they had feature locked the game, said this is what it will ship with, and then, like you say, add a bunch of stuff after, which would give them a better understanding. But I very much like the fact that they're so cocky about it. That's kind of what I wanted with the game, and it's a detriment to the development because I could technically never get my game if they keep being cocky, right? It's just expanding into whatever, but it's one hell of a ride.
Yep.
alrighty,
That's what you're paying for.
moving right along. Terrence BES.
It's not an image.
Do you think CIG is withholding a lot of content from Squadron 42 to perform a content bomb on release and baffle everyone while teasing us with content for the persistent universe? Yeah, no, they've been working on Squadron 42 for years. There's a lot of content for Squadron 42 that was released in that leak that was 2 years ago that we still haven't seen in the persistent universe, or we've only just now recently seen, like the original Outlaw and Marine armors that are in the universe right now. They were made a year before they actually were released to the public. They were available for playing, like in models and everything. So there's a lot of content that's out there for Squadron 42 that they just haven't released yet.
And that's good. Yeah. I don't want to see it. I want to play it. Like, I don't even want it to go to PTU.
All right.
I want to experience it.
Next question comes from CH Maverick. Do you think the in-game bartenders will operate the taps in the bars? Probably. It'll probably be an animation.
Zero gravity beer? Is that a thing? It's like this big ball of liquid in it.
It'll only matter if I can like put my mouth underneath the tap and just activate it and as an animation. That would CIG please.
What the fuck did I miss?
Next question comes from Breevelaws84. Do you think that Star Citizen Music AI will turn into Skynet? Dars, yes. This is your question.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. Reading?
And what? Am I reading?
I think you.
Oh, shit.
Because that's a dumb question. Please.
That's a dumb question.
Yeah.
You caught me off guard, and now I have to find a equally stupid passage to read.
Ad-lib it. Just ad-lib it. Make something up.
And as he drove on, the rain clouds dragged down the sky after him, for, though he did not know it, Rob McKenna was a rain god. All he knew was that his working days were miserable and he had a succession of lousy holidays. All the clouds knew was that they loved him and wanted to be near him, to cherish him, and to water him.
That's your answer right there.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Breves then asks, did any of you order a Polaris shirt, and did it arrive, and how did you like it? So I haven't ordered one yet.
No.
Nope.
I've only recently got my Bennies.
Yeah.
So
I'm still rocking the only shirt I actually ordered.
Commander Zeman asks, did Star Citizen reputation at the captain's table Paragon or Renegade? Yes.
Can I get a permit?
I didn't get that.
I'll give you a permit. Hold on.
Thank you.
You're good. But the question is actually you're a subscriber. You get auto permits.
Cool.
No, the question was is the reputation at the captain's table Paragon or Renegade, for like using the Mass Effect terms? Good.
See, this is the same thing why I brought up the sort of D&D sort of classification, because Paragon Renegade is just too narrow a classification.
I think we'd be more chaotic neutral. I think we're more chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah. The D&D classification should just be universal.
It is pretty much. People use it as for almost everything. But yeah, no. But yes, the answer is yes. Somewhere between Paragon and Renegade, because sometimes you just want to shoot a motherfucker in the face, but sometimes you want to negotiate.
With a gun.
With a gun. There's a famous quote, I think, from from Al Capone, where he says, "You get more with a nice word and a gun than just a nice word." So,
it's legit.
Yep.
Next question comes from
everybody.
Scorpion PT. Hi, what's your opinion of the addition of survival mechanics? We already talked about that. Stimson asks, go back a couple minutes. Stimson asks, do you think the larger ships require much more fuel to leave the planet than it lands on a smaller ship?
Yeah, it's all mass related anyway. So
it has to.
It has to with mass. Yeah, I mean, you're a fully loaded freelancer leaving a planet is going to take more fuel getting out of that planet than an empty freelancer.
Yeah.
than even an empty
Well,
freelancer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then but then you also have to figure into, because we don't know these things, how large a fuel tank these ships will have.
The gravity on the particular planet will change too.
Yeah,
Well,
you got to remember
yeah,
these
I
are
know,
all
but-
things. Well, these are things that are actually in game. Like the
Calculated.
mass calculated is already in
Yep.
game, and
Yeah,
the
but-
gravity
but-
calculations are already in game as well.
Yeah,
For-
but it doesn't matter. From the same sort of planet,
Doesn't
you
matter.
have to also put into consideration how much fuel capacity a ship is going to have, and whether it'll have like enough fuel to escape gravity fully laden.
That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an Icarus. Like, let's say, like Lander Freelancer, and there's twice as much gravity as normal, and your thrusters only have a certain output to get up. Then you can't land or you can't take off unless you have half load.
That's what he's saying. That's what
Yeah.
that's what Darsh is saying.
That's not how it works, though.
What do you mean it's not how it works? The ship has a finite amount of thrust and has a certain amount of mass and a certain amount of force required to overwhelm it.
Yeah.
Physics. Yes.
Yeah,
Physics.
well, it's just thruster output in regards to total mass of the ship. Yeah.
Well, it's like the idea is that, for instance, using a KSP term, you can land on Eve pretty easily. You can't get off of Eve very easily. There's there'll be some planets which you can land there because you can get into the atmosphere and glide or slow yourself down using whatever thermodynamics they have in game that you just won't be able to take off from. And I don't think that's the case. I think, generally speaking, every ship or every planet will be escapable, except for maybe gas giants. And if they are,
but if you miss the floating city and just fall into the core of a gas giant, you're fucked.
yeah, you're just fucked. But I mean, that's the thing is, I don't think there'll be a situation where you're going to find a planet with such a high gravity that you'll never be able to take off from it again, because that would be not fun, and B, not fun.
Not be fun.
But the thing
That's
is,
what makes the
you're
gameplay.
not
Survival
counting-
mechanics confirmed.
Yeah,
on the
fuck
planet.
it.
You can't escape. Send down the rope.
Well,
But then you're not counting on the
piss.
lift thrusters to get you.
Sorry. Bear Grylls confirmed.
But you're not counting on the lift thrusters to get you up, because the proper way to escape the gravitational pull of a planet is to just get into orbit, which is going
Sideways.
horizontally.
Yeah, but Star
So
Citizen is
you're-
not going to
you
actually have
make-
orbit.
Yeah.
I know. I'm still wondering how they're
That's
going to
it.
do that. Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
simplistic.
Push up vertically and go up. Yeah, and then you're out of.
Well,
yeah, gravitational
they
pull.
have also said that getting out of atmosphere is going to be a lot more different from coming into an atmosphere. They mentioned that before a couple of times about like getting off a planet is a little bit more difficult than getting into a planet.
Oh, I've got an answer. Do you remember that planet to planet jump that they showed us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's your
That's
ticket.
not going to be in the game,
Quantum. I know, but you imagine it's like, fuck gravity, let's quantum.
though. Yeah. Well, you can do that. You can do that in Elite Dangerous.
Perfect.
I mean,
It's
even
confirmed as
though
Star
they don't-
Citizen then.
Yeah.
Well, there's-
Even
yeah,
though
there's
they
glide
let
paths,
you
yeah.
land- Even though
Why
they let you land
gravity
in
when you
planets
have
with
quantum?
atmospheres.
All right, this is going to be our last question of the night. Sorry, Simpson. This last question was asked at like 5:04, and I'm going to start making a rule is if you ask a question after the at the 5 o'clock mark Pacific, which is 8 o'clock Eastern and like 2 a.m. GMT or something like that, then well, I'm not going to answer it just because it's so late. Yeah.
It's past 2 a.m. for me. So
Yeah. Mammon asks, how detailed should ship repair be? At the moment, it's very simple, but we've seen hints that it might get super detailed. At what point does it become tedious? I think most of this is going to be automated. Like,
Did a video about it? Sorry.
what video haven't you done?
No, I did an entire video just about repair mechanics.
Noob's done a video about
very
space
small.
bitches and cocaine. You
No,
should look it up.
The Drake chicks.
The Drake chicks and cocaine. There we go.
Drake
Drake
chicks
chicks and
and
cocaine.
cocaine.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do a video about that. That's
Well-
100% bullshit.
I think it would start getting tedious after actually repairing components and repairing hull. If you actually had to find a piece of metal that goes over a hole.
Yeah.
and then weld
It's
it
not like
around it,
not like a situation with your car where you're like you have to get the hood from the 1957 Cadillac so you have to get that same fucking hood because otherwise nothing else will fit.
So
No.
Yeah.
avionic bays, you know the Connie, how there's those doors?
Yeah.
If your shields go down, you can choose to take a fuse or a component,
Yeah,
a
pull
power
them out.
module out of one chip and jam it into the other. If you have a spare, you can use the spare and make everyone happy again. But you could choose to take one system offline.
Yeah.
If you run out of those or they're all fried, then you can barter for them, or you can get them. You may be able to craft them. And no, the repair mechanic isn't going to be down to the panel, individual panel. It's going to be more like Team Fortress 2, where you're just painting. You know, there's going to be skill involved, but it's not going to be tedious. And I know that it needs to be like that because there's some people that want to do nothing but that. There's people that want to be the best bartender in the verse, and there's people that just want a high skill ceiling on repair. Anybody can repair, but that one guy can make it perfect.
Yeah, there's people who want to do Cobra welds on repairing hull. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the game's going to get that good.
Well, no, they have said that like you have to scan a ship to figure out what it's made out of, and then you have to, and then they'll manufacture. You have to get those materials, and they'll manufacture a part that will replace that broken section that you just plop back on. So there
should be a thing like an ubiquitous 3D printer that you feed it materials and
it's an arm that shoots shit onto a ship and makes it better. So that's basically what it is right now.
Eventually, it'll be detailed enough for people to give a shit, but not so detailed that you're going to want to shoot yourself in the face.
Right. Anybody can make it a bad job. Yeah. Anybody can do a bad job.
If they keep breaking the same ship and you're fixing the same fucking ship every time, you're probably going to start getting pissed off with that.
Yeah.
It's just keeps breaking his damn ship.
Just ask for more pay then.
Yeah. Just be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to repair your ship because you're a dumbass.
Which is why. Get a new ship.
Yeah, which is why the test mechanics are best
Say
mechanics.
that you fixed it, but don't actually fix it in the first place.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the engineering. That's what I want to do. I want to do some
repair?
engineering.
Repair. Yeah. It looks like
I'm
fun.
Really looking forward to
that.
I'm looking forward to being able to and that was the other thing is that that's the thing that makes Drake ships different from RSI ships is that RSI ships have all their components internally, whereas Drake ships have them all externally. So your shield generator is outside your ship, but in a Cutlass, but in a Connie it's inside. You know, so I like those little differences as well. So you want to fix your Cutlass, go EVA. You know, they're gonna have to go out with your with a new shield generator and swap it out or with parts to fix up the stuff.
That is actually very cool. Then again, it makes it a lot easier for an external third party to fix your ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well that's our table tonight. Go make sure to follow all these people. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's that down below in the description. If you're watching this live, thank you for showing up. And you know that we do this every Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. GMT. There's always a new cast every single time. So we've got next week will be a completely different cast here. We try to stick to Star Citizen topics, but generally speaking, we're just going to get drunk and have a good time and piss off and do crazy shit. So, again, thank you all for hanging out. I love that shirt. I love that shirt.
I love it. Love it.
And like I say every night, hope to see you guys again soon. But if I don't, hope to see you someday in the black. Have a good night, guys.
Peace, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. Bye.
Thanks, guys.